Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the URC, and this one, it is a rematch of a game that we saw just last week. The Stormers, this time away from home, going head to head with the Sharks. Now, the Sharks were able to end the Stormers' undefeated streak in the URC. Now, speaking of streaks, we've just seen the Bulls bring up their third win in a row in their game up against the Lions. It makes that top 8 just that little bit more intriguing as the Sharks, they currently sit in about 11th. They got a little bit of ground to make up, and another win over the Stormers here be a great way being able to do it. Looking through at the starting lineup, it is Oxenshare in the front row alongside Fezin Bata and Hanbro Jacobs, sorting in at 3, Kona Iral and Emil van Heeren as the locking duo with Sia Kolisi, Vincent Tachuka and Pepsi Buthelezi as the number 8. So they've had a little bit of a switch here because last match we saw Emmanuel Tachuka in there, but now Vincent Tachuka, his brother, does get a little bit more game time. Grant Williams in the number 9 jersey alongside Jordan Hendrickse as the 10. So Grant Williams, he's been making his way more so off the bench in the last little while rather than getting those starting opportunities where we have seen the two Hendrickse brothers together at the start, but instead Williams gets that start. Hendrickse keeps his spot, and then some really talented Springbok players across the rest of the back line. Jaco Williams, he is the number 11, another man from their under-20 setup. He had a phenomenal game last week, so earned himself another chance here. Andre Esterhuizen alongside Ethan Hooker as their midfield pairing. Esterhuizen talked quite fondly of the head-to-head that he had up against Sasha Feinberg and Ngume Zulu in the last match. Does get that chance to do it yet again. Edward van der Merwe, he comes back out on the right wing in this contest, and then Apalele Fasi is there as the number 15 in the starting lineup for the Stormers. It is Ollie Kibble alongside Andre Hugo Fente and Nedling Fouché, Andre Smith and Ruben van Heeren as the starting locking duo, Paul de Villiers, Ben Jason Dixon and Evan Roos as the loose forward. So overall, both of these sides are stacked in that loose forward trio. I'm looking forward to seeing the likes of Kolisi versus Paul de Villiers. Of course, those two men, they're actually going to end up as teammates in the relatively near future, with Sia Kolisi signing with the Stormers. Evan Roos versus Pepsi Buthelezi, two men jockeying for potential Springbok minutes throughout this year. Vincent Tachuka and Ben Jason Dixon, their names can also get thrown in that same hat. Kobus Reinach and Sasha Feinberg Ngume Zulu will be the 9 and 10 combination. Lelion Zas out on the left wing, Jonathan Roach and also Similani in the midfield, Dylan Mart and Damien Valimza as the 15. Was JC playing for the Lions? He was not. Nowhere to be seen JC Pretorius in that game. Whereas Ahmad, I assume you're talking Ahmad Khan, off the bench. They have got Stephen Ngura instead. So, yeah, no Ahmad Khan for this game, which is a little bit of a surprise, seeing as he's been in some relatively handy form for the Stormers as of late. We got hi Hamish from Joe, and this is not Hamish, says Mohadin. And is he going to show the match, or are we just going to watch him talk? Says, I can't read your name out. I can call you dumb, I guess, as the starting part, but yeah, just going to have to listen to me talk if you stick around. Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube with a copyright strike and banned for 3 months. And that's a long time to be banned for, but it's available on URC TV. It's on Supersport. There are plenty of options around for being able to watch the game that is about to take place. We have got this, definitely Hamish, says DJ, and did Sia Kolisi join the Stormers this year or next year? So it's next season. So that is actually going to be around about, when was the first round of the URC? About September? Somewhere around there, I guess, would be the first time that we see Sia Kolisi potentially in a Stormers kit. In fact, it might be a bit later than that, depending on when it starts. I know we're up to about round 10, sorry for the name. I assume you've got your reason for the name. I feel bad for having to call you dumb, though, as like a shortened abbreviation. So hopefully, if you let me know your actual name, I can call you that instead. Thank goodness no Selma Murat. Says, Joe, yeah, last week got himself yellow carded off of the bench. Once again, dropped that popularity amongst Stormers supporters, unfortunately for him. Let's all enjoy the match together, says Angelina. Oh, sorry, that was Angela. And got to respect Hamish's tolerance of the can you show the game questions. I've been asked it well and truly over 1,000 times. So, yeah, well and truly used to it by now. This is not Hamish, this is someone else, says Mohadin. So who is it other than Hamish? Because now I'm curious, you see, because from what I can tell, I am myself. But who would I be instead? Sadly, I don't have a twin brother. If I did, that would be ideal, because then I could sleep at night time and he could do the all-nighters, and then I could do the streams during the day, as long as Gallant doesn't come on. Well, he will at some point. Probably later in this fixture, though, rather than early on. For what a Gallant, they've also got Yuri Matea and Stephen Okura as the other replacement backs. JD Schickerling, handy enough player. He was actually doing very nicely the last little while. Mohideen, get your specs on, boy, says DJ. And also, we have got there, I hope the Stormers can keep it simple. Yeah, see, last game up against the Sharks was intriguing, because it definitely didn't go the way that people expected. What we will do is we'll go like this, and we'll go like that. There we go. These are the Sharks' most recent fixtures. As you can see there, the win over the Stormers, not just by a narrow margin either, an 11-point victory at Cape Town Stadium. The game prior to that, they won up against Clermont. They lost the battle with the Sharks in the Champions Cup, so they are actually now in the Challenge Cup, the Sharks side. And then a close game up against the Lions that they did end up losing, which could be substantial when we get further through this competition. Currently in round 11, teams are running out of time to make that big boost towards the top 8. And the Sharks, currently the way that it sits, they are the only South African side outside of that top 8 situation. For the Stormers, they did have that loss up against the Sharks. Prior to that, they did have the win over the Leicester Tigers, but that game up against the Harlequins, that ended the winning streak for the Stormers. It was up to about 10 or so games, but that wasn't the URC streak ended. That game there up against the Sharks was 30 points to 19, like I said. It was not the best performance from the Stormers side. I also don't think it was the best performance from the Sharks as a whole. And that's the scary thing, that this side can still find another gear. And if they find it here in front of their home crowd, they could get 50 points by the end of this game. But that would be playing very, very well. This is Jason Bourne. How long before kickoff, Hamish? We have got ourselves 10 minutes until the kickoff of this contest, which is great news, because it is currently sitting 3:50 a.m. New Zealand time. And I almost fell asleep in between the live streams. So we've got to keep ourselves wide awake with some great rugby action. Grant Williams is an entertaining player with his speed. Yeah, insane vision as well from Grant Williams. Can pierce those gaps around the side of the breakdown. This is a battle with the Bok Nines. I was talking about it earlier. They've got Sasha. Oh, sorry, they haven't got Sasha. They've got Kobus and they've got Grant Williams. Who's the third Springbok halfback for you guys at the moment? I know that Morne van den Berg, he had a solid game in the last contest up against the Bulls. We've seen someone like an Ambrose Papier had some pretty solid moments for the Bulls throughout the season. Jaden Hendricks' name sometimes gets thrown away. Normally it then gets thrown straight out when you mention him, but he has been there before. Faf de Klerk, another guy that maybe if they want a veteran, could look at bringing in. Sasha Peter be ready for the steamrolling. Andre again this week, says Joe. I hope the Sharks win today in Durban, says Gerhard. So as we're not physical enough last week, and we'll throw it around and knock it on in the sticky conditions this week, says Finn. And Villiers, one of my favourites, says DJ. And hi, Hamish from Durban. Nice day in Durban for the game. Beach is still full of people here, says Brian. In there too. And I hope you took a good power nap in the break. I didn't. I ended up eating a snack, sitting back down, making a couple 7s thumbnails, and then just waiting for this match, or at least this live stream, to start up. But yeah, I feel like I'm wide awake enough that I shouldn't fall asleep at halftime, which is good. And hopefully that is the way that it stays throughout the full 80 minutes. Come on, Glasgow. Oops, I mean Sharks, says Kahu. And also, what's your score prediction, says. And in fact, we will ask that question to everyone. What is everyone going with as the score in this contest? I think it's going to be relatively close. Some expect that maybe the Sharks side will make it 2 in a row. I do think the Stormers will definitely fire back. But it's whether or not they can fire back enough, if that turnaround quick enough. I really don't know. This one, at the moment, the Stormers are $1.68 favourites, I see, over the Sharks. So it's a little bit in their favour. But yeah, it could easily go the other way too. I don't know. I'm going either side by less than 7 points. Wash your face with cold water will keep you awake. Says Joan. Evening, Hamish. Says Joss. I took a nap. If my eyes close, I can't help but sleep. And what time is it by you? At the moment for myself, it is 3:51 a.m. New Zealand time. And Sharks 20 to the 25 of the Stormers. Okay, so going with a relatively close game there. A few bonus points possibly. You don't drink coffee, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't drink coffee at all. Probably why I am tired at 4 a.m. Of course, Artie Savia's mate Khaleesi. Or only because of Artie Savia's mate Khaleesi. Is Durban a nice area to visit? I think it's like everywhere how if you know where to go and you know where's good, I feel like anywhere's decent enough to visit. I know that there are some really nice parts of Durban that hopefully one day I'll be able to see. I don't know whether I'll get to see them in person or just see them through like people doing vlogs and whatnot, but maybe one day. No vices. Vices. Like isn't like vice captains. Easthuizen gets the captaincy. Says DJ, yeah, so it's Captain Easthuizen versus Captain Sasha. You can't actually see the captain sign after Sasha's name, but it is there. And yeah, I feel like that's been a lot of weight on the young man's shoulders. It is not a role that is really given out lightly. And for Sasha, I think he plays his best rugby when he doesn't have to think about that captaincy as well. Come to Gauteng. It is beautiful, close to the Lions and Bulls stadiums. See Xander there. So yeah, I feel like if I ever end up in South Africa, I've got to go to a lot of places. And I mentioned about it on one of the other live streams, how it would be awesome to be able to get some sort of major sponsor and do some sort of like braai tour thing. How it's like a competition, how I go to someone's braai, they do the braai, and then we like judge it based off like presentation and taste and everything like that, and then like have like a grand prize. It's an idea that's probably never going to happen, unfortunately, unless some sort of major sponsor wants to say, yep, we'll pay you a whole heap of money to be able to do the prize. Does Super Rugby start next weekend? Not quite. Not next weekend, the weekend after. So we got another week of pre-season. Hamish's Vices KFC. Says DJ and Brian Biltong Tour. Says Bronk there. Now what's your prediction for this game? I'm like in the mid-30s. 35-30 or something like that. Maybe 35-32 would be a fantastic game. But I bet you it's going to be like 8 points to 11 or something like that. We'll get a low scoring match. Last week it was relatively high scoring. We had 50 plus points between the two sides. But you just also get the feeling that when these two sides really concentrate defensively, there's a lack of tries that get scored. Long time no see. Says Carlin, it has been a long time. So hopefully you are doing well, Carlin. I'm sure you had a great Christmas, as that is one of your favourite holidays, if not the favourite holiday. And hopefully you've been enjoying your holiday if you did get one. I feel like you have, you know how like, I haven't watched Spider-Man, but doesn't he have like spider senses? I feel like you have travel senses. We were just talking about me possibly visiting South Africa, and then boom, you show up right after that. I know that you're a travel agent, so I'm sure you know all of the great deals for getting there. It was my birthday yesterday, so happy birthday for yesterday. Hopefully you did have a great day. Is that the 20 or 30th of January? 31st of January? Because it's currently the 1st here in New Zealand, but it's the 31st in South Africa as well as Spain, so I think your birthday's the 30th, right? And don't be surprised if you get a major sponsor one day serious. Says Nars Williams. You have to eat properly in South Africa. Can't eat like a bird, Hamish. Says Joe Mann. Can't eat like a bird. What does that mean? Like eating worms? Like, what is a bird? Like, I don't get the reference at all. We have got there the 30th of Jan. Says Carlin there. It's the 31st year in Ireland. Says Holdry there. Or should I say Richard? And also, there you go, the Sharky. Says Brian, and Stormers need to win to try and catch Glasgow somehow. Would you rather have a cow's tongue or giraffe neck at a braai? So you're saying I have to eat one of them, not like I have one. I guess a cow's tongue, if I had to pick, because a giraffe's neck is very long. So if you have to eat the whole thing, that's going to take you like a year. Definitely me. Because it would just, yeah. We used to have like a puppet that would visit us at school. I don't know whether or not you guys had that. Someone surely is from New Zealand has heard of Harold the Giraffe. He used to come to school and teach us about health and whatnot, like human body parts. Sounds a bit dodgy, but yeah, he used to visit. And everyone was convinced it was actually not a puppet. But no one could prove it because the person who was controlling the puppet did a good job. You know? I'll message you about your South African trip, my friend. Eating like a bird means you can't eat a little, as South African portions are huge. So does that mean I will also get huge? I can have an off-season bulk, perhaps, even though I don't have an on-season. So I just have a full-season bulk. It must be a South Island ting. Says Sock there. Eating like a bird is not eating much. And pecking like a bird, says Joe. Nas, do you know what I'm talking about with Harold the Giraffe? Surely someone knows about him. Or else it's just me sounding like I'm literally like on something. Harold the Giraffe. We're just about at kickoff, but first of all, we're going to find a picture of the bloke. He's the mascot of New Zealand. There he is. He's a giraffe. And he's like through a hole in the building. Harold the Giraffe, says Xander. Yeah. He's like, I want to show you a picture, but all of the pictures have like a lady holding him because, of course, it's a puppet. They just showed the starting lineup for the Sharks side. They got some good players across their back line. No, you'll only get a beer belly, says Carlin. Was he the giraffe on the milkshake cup? Yes, kind of. I think they're based off the same thing. Giraffes. But yeah, I think he was. You know, the one that says the longest shake in town? It's the one. But looking through at the Stormers backline, of course, we talked about how many players they have in terms of the Sharks in that backline, in terms of Springbok caliber. But there's a fair few handy players for the Stormers side as well, including Dylan Mart. Can't you do your live streaming from South Africa? Theoretically, I think I could. I think as long as I have like either a VPN or access to Supersport, I should be able to do it over there, no problem. Let me book you a safari instead, says Carlin. There aren't any giraffes in New Zealand. There was in the truck, though, that was teaching us about health. I swear. But it was a puppet. That's it, says Sock. And big ups to Harold. And giraffe's milk is apparently healthier than cow's milk. How do you milk a giraffe, though? That would be hard to do. Be quite high up. You'd need a ladder. Looks like a decent crowd for this game in Durban. Of course, last week's game, it was won by the Sharks, so I'm sure that would have put a few extra people in seats for this contest as well. But the Sharks are at home, so the Stormers will make their way onto the field first. Jonathan Roach is a potential future Springbok. Says Sven, I actually think there's quite a few future Boks in this matchup. And of course, many handy Boks out there too. So far, or how far away is Sasha from being the best 5'8" in the world? Depends on who you talk to. A little bit. Some people would say he already is. Some would say that he's still got a few more seasons before he gets to that stage. He's still young and he's kind of learning along the way, but he seems to be a quick learner. He's certainly dangerous for the Stormers side when he gets it right. My dog was upset. He didn't get birthday cake yesterday, so I'm going to make him pancakes now. Toodles. It's a lucky dog. I probably won't even get pancakes for breakfast. Or I can guarantee you I won't, because I would have to make them, seeing as the stream ends at 6 a.m. But the two sides in the huddles, I better make your trip to South Africa, Hamish. Roof will take good care of you. All your fans do, says Joe. I think Roof would probably kidnap me. Let's all be honest. That's probably what would happen. But I feel like she wouldn't be too harsh on me. You know, she'd let me go eventually. But now, this one's going to be kicked off by Sasha around the halfway line. Ready to go for this first half. I'm in a bit of a giggly mood at the moment. So I feel like I'm going to be laughing throughout this live stream, which I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm very sleep deprived, ladies and gents. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. But Sasha, ready to kick this one off for the Stormers. Durban's not quite full in terms of the stands. I think people will continue to pile in throughout the match, though, and it's kicked off long into the Sharks 22. Nicely taken near the sideline by Andre Esterhuizen and wrestled down by Dylan Mart. And a great bit of work early on from the Stormers, already winning themselves the penalty And a quick tap taken by Cobus Reinach. He tries to drop his head and he's smashed by Corne Raul and he's still got over. And that is the try. 23 seconds into the half. And the Stormers are on the board already. Now, if that doesn't make a statement and say that they are ready to go this week, I don't know what does. What's your prediction? My prediction was certainly not for them to score within 25 seconds, but I'm going mid-30s for both teams in this game. I'm hoping for a high-scoring one. But that wasn't supposed to happen. I can tell you that right now. But the early penalty won by the Stormers, the quick tap by Cobus Reinach, it looked like he was actually going to be held up and then just continued powering that little bit closer to the try line. But the dream start for the away side here. In fact, did the Sharks score super early last week up against the Stormers as well? I feel like they've just decided to go, anything you guys could do, we can do that little bit better. Lining up this kick though for Sasha. Misses away to the to the right-hand side. Oh boy, New Zealand are going to be in a bit of trouble there. 1 second, we'll go like this. And like that as well. But it's happened that quickly that they haven't even updated it on my app. So 5 minutes in, we saw the Sharks score. So that probably beat them by a decent margin in terms of speed. But kicked off now by Jordan Hendrickse. Only 100 seconds into this game and already a lead of the 5 points. Cobus is definitely my pick for number 9, says DJ. And man, I missed the game with the Bulls because I thought they're going to lose. Join this. And for I says, hello, Hamish says, Rudy, welcome in, mate. You coming to South Africa for the All Blacks tour? I won't be going for the South African tour, sadly. But hopefully before 2030 would be the goal, which I know sounds like it's a long way away, but that's only 4 years. So I'd like to think at some stage before then we'd be able to get the trip planned. And we have got there, same like last week. And Grant Williams is faster than Cobus Reinach. In a foot race, I'd say yes, but Reinach is still quick. His dad was an Olympic sprinter, I believe. Cobus Reinach, so that's where his pace kind of comes from. But now the ball on the halfway line for the Stormers. Ben Jason Dixon with a pick and go. The limbs are joining that breakdown. Reinach going away to the right, bouncing ball for Paul de Villiers. Yes, head, says Joe. And what was the ball score, please, says Martin. So in that game, it was 52-17 in favour of the Bulls. 4 years, says Susan. Oh, that's a hard landing for Jordan Hendrick's tailbone. But he's got back up and he has, in fact, won the penalty for the Sharks. So is that 4 years with those exclamation marks as in like 4 years that's too long, or 4 years as in like that's good? I assume it's the first one, right? And Cobus is like crafty. Yeah, taking that quick tap early on is something that the brave halfbacks like to do, but it almost backfired. He almost got held up. Who scored for the Stormers? It was Cobus Reinach. Got the first try. Sharks already losing, says Rugby Ready. And I'm in Durban. Hope Stormers take this one. Says Rudy there too. And now line out chance. I've just said there about Dylan Mart and his intent. When he's out there on the field, always running everywhere. Such a powerful ball runner too. Nicely taken at the front of the line out by Vincent Tachuka. This is where the Sharks need to try and fire back to Sasha Miss. He did indeed, out to the right-hand side. Missing for the conversion. That ball bouncing up for Ethan Hooker. Got pace, goes to Upper Lelefasi on his outside. Finds Sio Kolisi. 22 metres out for the line. And great protection in the breakdown. That's an illegal play from Evan Ruiz. Plays the halfback. And yes, heard Williams is the fastest in the bot camp. Reinach was a sprinter. Says Joe. Okay. Referee has just given a bit of a warning to Sasha and his Stormers side, saying you can't be throwing away the ball. You've got to present it if they want to take the quick tap. But now 7 metres out from the line. It was quite a cynical play from Evan Ruiz. And then I think he was just frustrated that he didn't get the body position over a player like Ethan Hooker. Then tried to rip it out of the hands of Pepsi Put the Lazy as he played half. Now line out chance for Fezambata. Was actually added into the lineup late last week. He had a very solid game, replacing Bongyum Banumbi. Now here comes that rolling maul. marches around sideways and then eventually gets dragged down. They've been told to get out of it. No advantage that time against Andre Smith. So a big chance for the Sharks to be able to fire back and get themselves a try of their own. They scored in the 5th minute in the last match up against the Stormers. They can potentially do the same. Penalty again. Oh, Grant Williams. Does he want to take it quickly? He says no, not in the end. And what are these team stats? Who was supposed to win here, according to the bookies? So the favourite for this match was the Stormers marginally. Like pretty close overall in terms of the head-to-head for the odds. But yeah, Stormers were about $1.60 favourites at closing. Sharks were about $2.20 or somewhere around there. Now Fezambata. The line-out throw for that man, Vincent Tichuke. He has been a target in the line-out, but this time they go for Emil van Heeren, and they actually missed him over the top. That was an extended arm. The face at Jordan Hendrickse. The Stormers have managed to turn this ball over. Now looking to go into the pocket. Sasha Feinberg. Zulu, his kick is charged down. Taken now by Pepsi Putalese. He has 2 players all over him, including Reinach. Come on, the Sharks grind this one out. Says Zock. Oh, that's almost another steal for the Stormers. Yes, it is. That's a 4 pass into touch. So the option of either the line out or the scrum now. And crying out the ball being slippery and the humidity is BS. Having lived there for many years, we never had a problem further up the northeast coast. As where humidity has a negative effect on sport. Says Duncan. Yeah, and at the end of the day, both sides use the same ball. So, you know, we do see at times one side have 15 handling errors, the other side have 5. Same ball being used, same conditions that they're playing in. Sometimes one side just has that little bit of a lack of concentration. Can lack that clinicalness. Nicely taken by Emil van Heeren. Now breaking off the back, Sio Kolisi. Edward van der Merwe goes to Esterhazen. He is likely to score himself a try in this game, and again just off the feet. In the breakdown from the Stormers. They are getting close to last warning territory, I believe. Grant Williams passes it across. Vincent Tichuke goes through his hands. A diving catch attempt for Jaco Williams out wide. A bit too far out in front of him. And I think they would not back 10, so it will be another penalty now for the Sharks. Sharks should take this then. They are brutal in Durban, says Martin. Right. Sasha's already getting that warning that if his team keep on giving away penalties, they will be going to the bin. We're only 8 minutes into this contest, so that is the worst potential time of getting a warning like that. Like they're saying, there's just that little bit of feeling out there between these two sides. They know how crucial this match could be for the overall season. If the Stormers want to catch Glasgow, they need a win here. If the Sharks want to get into the top 8, they also require the win. Who was more dominant physically, scrums, rucks, etc. I think that the Stormers have tried to be in this match, but they have also given away 2 penalties in the rucks so far. And in terms of scrum, I don't think we've had one just yet. Now rolling ball here again for the Sharks. And there's another advantage against the Stormers. Tell you what, they're in a little bit of trouble here. This referee, he has given the yellow card. It's against Paul de Villiers. 9 minutes in, collapsing the maul. This is the last thing that the Stormers want after scoring early. A big opportunity for the Sharks to yet again kick this one towards the corner. Yellow card special. Says cited. Yeah, to get yellow carded for repeat infringements 9 minutes into a game is thoroughly impressive for all the wrong reasons. And now another line-out chance. Who's it going to be who steps up here for the Sharks and gets over the try line? They don't use Fezambata in the same way some teams would in terms of joining onto the back of that rolling maul, or at least not too often. It's either Pepsi Putalese. Oh, it's stolen by the Stormers, so it's not going to be anyone. Dylan Mart inside of his in-goal area. Passes the ball across to Damian Balimza. His kick is charged down. It's going to be a 5-metre scrum as it was taken back. This is now a very good position on the field to be if you are the Sharks. Pepsi Putalese head back himself to be able to break off the back here. Sharks should win. Says cited, although they do come in as underdogs for this contest. I do think they're adding Edward van der Merwe into their back line. Certainly adds that little bit more of an edge This game has been crazy so far. It has been all-out action for the first 10 minutes. There have been so many times where a side has either had an advantage and almost then been able to score because of said advantage or just flat-out running for these two teams. 917 kgs in the Stormers scrum, 882 for the Sharks. So that answers a few questions about what the pack weights look like. But the question is, will the weight dominate in this game for the Sharks, or will the Stormers be able to hold their own? They are missing Paul de Villiers out there on the field as well. So we've got to remember, if they want to scrum with 7 men, they will get forced backwards. It looks like it's the decision that they've decided to make. And hi, Hamish says, please and tease. Oh, it's gone down, and penalty awarded. Quick tap taken by Grant Williams. Goes off to Seal Kolisi. 5 metres out from the line. I'm surprised they didn't rinse and repeat there when it came to that scrum. But Kone Ral now 1 metre short. Looking for the ball. Grant Williams, he's going to go himself. He gets over the line, and that is the try now for the Sharks. They fire straight back in this game. Are the players friends in the Springboks? I believe so. But this, because of the fact that it's that rivalry of two South African sides going head-to-head, they will put those friendships aside just for this 80 minutes. Of course, straight after the game, they'll be best buddies. But until then, it's going to be a battle out there on the field. But the first try of the contest coming the way of the Sharks after the yellow card was awarded to Paul de Villiers. It was a good effort from Ruben van Heeren to try and stop him from getting it down. But Grant Williams turning nicely as he even roars back in. Says please and tease, and Kyle Jamieson should be deported from New Zealand. Says Peps Wipes, be sure not to give any spoilers of that game though. And when can I see this match on TV? So for us here in New Zealand, it's on URC TV. DSTV is the option in South Africa for being able to watch it. See, it's gone after the World Cup. See his body, says Nazi, and that one has bounced over for Jordan Hendrickson, which gives the Sharks the lead at home. 7 points to 5. Greetings, everyone. Been a while, says Denzel Adams. Welcome in. It's been a little while. Hopefully you've been keeping well. Hopefully you did enjoy your Christmas as well. And I all enjoy the fantastic game. A feast for the eye with all the Springboks on show, says Reno. Yes, the type of game you wish would happen 5 times in a row. We get it twice in a row, which is, I feel like we're already spoiled in that regard. But, yeah, it's just, you just want to keep seeing them play time and time again, week in, week out. It's kicked off by Sasha Faimugme Zulu being chased hard by Dylan Mart. Nicely taken by Vincent Tachuka. Inside of the Sharks, 22 wasn't held, so was able to get back up and go again. It's inside, so Grant Williams can find the touchline with it. Big shout out to Hamish, great commentary, says Reno. I have to say, this is exactly the game. Oh, bit of pressure there on Grant Williams. Rough pass. It has to be forward. Yes, it is. But yeah, this is the type of game that you need when it's 4:15 a.m. and it's been a long day of streaming. I think we've done probably about 6 to 8 hours. I haven't done the maths just yet. But this type of fast-paced game is perfect because, you know, you just always have something happening in it. And at every single minute of this game, it feels like someone could break away and get themselves a try. And Stormers could drop it or drop out of the top 4 if Leinster wins and Ulster wins and Cardiff get 2 losing bonus points. Says Kahu. Of course, they still have that game in hand, though, for the Stormers side, so it's not all doom and gloom for them, but they want this win. They want to get the win back, or else that would be twice in a row the Sharks would beat the Stormers. And fun fact, up until last week, the Sharks had never beaten the Stormers in Cape Town throughout the URC. I think was the stat. I believe they had beaten them in Durban, though. So does Ulster, says Kahu. Now that one's gone down, no advantage, and the penalty is awarded to the Stormers. They've got 4.5 minutes remaining of the Paul de Villiers yellow card, so this might be a time just to slow it down. Yep, they're calling for the posts. This will use up an extra minute of that yellow card period. 80 minutes is a long time. We've only had the 14 minutes so far. Will Kibble settle back into the Stormers? He struggled in Scotland, says Reno. I mean, he seems to be going all right at the moment. In the scrums, I think Oxton Share was the man who might have almost been penalised there for a knee down. A yellow card already. Yeah, 9 minutes into the game, Paul de Villiers got himself that yellow card, which of course is not ideal for the Stormers side. Definitely because they love getting in those breakdowns and ripping that ball away. Oh, deep breaths for Sasha. He did miss his first kick of the day. And, tell you what, he almost missed the second, but it has gone over. Makes the score now 8 points to 7. Back in the lead for the Stormers side. Seems like the type of match that definitely will have a bit of a seesaw about it in terms of the score. My referee's just got time off at the moment. That almost looked like Nettling for sheer on the near side of the field. Yes, it is. He is down currently with some sort of injury that he is dealing with. They've got Zachary Porfin as the replacement off the bench in this contest for the Stormers. Looks like it might actually be a bit of a blood bin situation here. They're trying to get that strapping on. Hamish is giving red card everyone, so please be careful. Says Mahadine in a shoe. Says Rudy. A lot of people say Paul de Villiers is a shoo-in for a Springbok role. He's definitely a talented player for the Stormers side. He's done so much for them throughout the season. Now, unfortunately for him, he has ended up with the yellow card here. Right. Nettling for sheer is now all strapped up, ready to go. Massive power outage in Pretoria. Maybe the Bulls is behind this. Here's Ruby. Kicked off long. And it's gone straight out on the full from the Sharks. Mistake there from Jordan Hendricks. I think he's saying that the wind's going that way, and he's blaming that for why that ball's gone out. Not a nice feeling for a number 10. Missing one at the post is awful, of course, but also just messing up a kickoff that gives your opposition that attacking opportunity. Does hurt the confidence a little bit. But now, scrum feed. This time it will be the feed of the Stormers due to that kick going out on the full. Now still packing down with, I want to say it's 7, or maybe they've stuck an extra man in fact, on the far side of that scrum. It's probably Dylan Mark, to be fair. He's a very solid man, and that one's gone out on the side of the Sharks. I've seen both front rows have stood up, though. The scrum penalty looked like Fez and Barter didn't hold the weight, hence the collapse. Says Kutenda there. I think if I was the Sharks coach, would have started I read that as Sia Kolisi rather than Sia Masuku at 10. Says Reno. Yeah, they have got that stability of his kicking later on in the game. They can often rely on. We have what's got there. Who's the best kicker? At the moment, Jordan Hendricks is sitting 100%. Sasha's sitting 50% from this game. Chris Smith's normally pretty solid of a kicking tee, though, if you're talking about South African kickers. Andre Pollard normally up there as well. And now scrum once more. It's going to be a smooth one. Another good push there from the Sharks at scrum time. Evan Ruiz waiting for that ball to come out the back. He's almost waited a little bit too long for it. Just leaves it up to the referee to decide whether or not it is going to be awarded as a penalty. But for now, the Stormers now with possession. That looked, I was going to say illegal from Kolisi, but he's timed it perfect. No, never mind. They have gone back and given it as a penalty. Kolisi was in off his feet. That was the call from the touch judge. Ironic that Sasha's the number 1 at Springboks. With those stats, says Reno. Yeah, hands in the ruck penalty going against Seal Kolisi. Percy Montgomery is best. South Africa kicker on stats, but I may be wrong. But de Villiers will lose his place at the Stormers next season to the guy he is outplaying today. Says Powerby, although he hasn't really outplayed Seal Kolisi so far in this game. We have seen Paul de Villiers get himself penalised and then a yellow card. But most of the season he's done well, Paul de Villiers. But yeah, this game's probably been his worst start possible. Why did he Pollard start missing kicks? Just for fun, I think. He decided, my kicking average is too good. I'm just going to start kicking them all over the place. And now Sasha, let's see if he can get this one straight down the middle. It will also expire the 10 minutes of Paul de Villiers. And that one's coming round nicely. Goes over from Sasha and makes the score 7-11 in this contest after the 19 minutes. Yeah, the old man is back in blue. Says Reno. Now 4 points separating these two sides. We do see Paul de Villiers making his way back on to the field. Now in the number 20 jersey, they have got Marcel Tennyson. Oh, what's happening here? We're actually having the drinks break. We're already at that stage of the contest. That just tells you how quickly this game is going. There will be the cool-down break, which is normally a 3-minute period in the first and second half. About 20 minutes in. And 7-1-1. Sasha Pollard now taking 3. Says Mohadin. Right, Sasha Pollard now taking 3. Sasha has taken 2-3 so far. Show video says Dion. Sadly, it is illegal to show any match footage on YouTube, but it is on Supersport. It is also on URC TV. Those are your two main options, depending on whereabouts you are in the world. If I was the Sharks coach, start Ethan Bester and Gunyane. Keep the box semi-final prop combination of Ox and Glock as the bomb squad with Swart. We have to avoid lineouts because Fizz can't nail the darts, says Kutinda. And also Hamish question, who would you rate as the best current 10 in the world? That's a tricky one to answer because you're either right or you're wrong in that case. And I feel like a lot of bias comes into it too. I know that Sasha's currently been put in the top 5, which I would agree with. I would say at the moment, top 5 fly halves he is in the mix. You're probably looking at, outside of him in terms of best 10s, you probably have to stick into Mac in the mix. And to be fair, Jalabert is also right up there at the moment for the French. I feel like there are a lot of other very decent fly half options, but it just depends on what you're into. Finn Russell, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but there's no denying how dangerous of a fly half he is. Geordie says Reno as a fly half? Or like Geordie's, I think, probably more fullback. It's where a lot of people want to see him. Is Rasi doing a Prendergast with Sasha, going along with a more erratic 10, because he is the future, says Paul Boy. I think he's also just going with Sasha because he keeps scoring tries and creating opportunities for the box. Plus, his defence has been solid, which is one thing that he probably has over Prendergast, because boy, does that man get a lot of stick for the amount of tackles he misses. Sasha's best stats for 10, says Derek. A little bit of a counter-ruck coming there from the Sharks in the breakdown, but the ball available inside of the 22 for Kibis Ronak. Kicking it up high, looking to go up for it was Lelion Zas, but it's going to be nicely claimed by Edward van der Merwe. Also advantage now for the Sharks due to a tackle in the air. Jordan Hendrickson goes across to Andre Esterhuizen. All good fend there from Sio Colisi, trying to break through Dylan Mart. Springboks are looking for playmakers rather than structure, says Reno. We'll now go back for that initial penalty. Tackle in the air. I think this is where the Sharks will once again look towards that corner rather than going for the 3 points. End of the day, I mentioned how that aggression level of the Sharks needs to be at an all-time high. At this part of the season, they are currently fighting for a spot in the top 8, but from there, they still have plenty more growing that they will need to do. Yeah, that's a pretty easy penalty to give. They've just shown the replay there. Lelion Zasi didn't really get a lot of the ball, just ended up hugging Edward van der Merwe on the way down. See if Fezembata can get the line out right. That one has worked out, nicely taken by Emil Verheeren. Now it's just that question of what do they do from here, the Sharks? Their rolling maul hasn't found a huge amount of success, although this one's moving nicely. Evan Ruiz, he's trying to drag it down. He has to make sure he does it legally, or else it could be another yellow card against the Stormers side. Jordan Hendrickson, wide cut out pass this time, finds the hands of Apalele Fasi, does recycle the air while Van der Merwe cuts back in. Dylan Mart makes the tackle on him. Look like a knock on against the Sharks. Yes, it is. And Mart is fired up about it. And a bit of push and shove now between these two sides. And that's not a good example. Sasha's one of the first players in there, not really calming it down, but instead getting fired up in there too. I think that was Apalele Fasi and Damien Valimza having a little bit of a conversation. You need to be angry, Sharks, rather than Guppies. And Sasha is facing the same issue Marnie faced some seasons ago. Great player, but struggling off the tee of late. He should focus on kicking straight and true rather than bending it like Beckham, says Kutinda. If only Marnie could kick his goals consistently, he would be up there with the rest of them. Okay, and just like that, it's going to be upgraded to a penalty against, I think it's against the Sharks. Yes, it is, for starting it at the kind of push and shove stage. So Upper Lilipasi, man who's penalised for that one. How's Sash playing? He hasn't had a huge amount of ball in hand, to be fair. He's got two out of his 3 kicks over at this point in time. But yeah, has hardly had a run in this game so far. Paul Cole says, well, I know, although at least now it sets the tone. This referee's pretty much said, look, anything that you guys are doing to be a bit silly, giving away penalties and whatnot, I am going to penalise. Now, Andre Hugo Finta. Throw in, taken well. Now, almost charged down by Grant Williams. The kick of Sasha Feinberg and Mazula. Richard Mong has the best 10, I reckon. When you say Interback's game has got him worse because of DuPont's playing quarterback every time from the base of the ruck. Says power by, and that's why I also chuck Jalabert in there, because I feel like what he's been able to do over the last probably year or two has actually, I think it's impressed me more than Intermac, to be fair. Yeah, so it was Upper Lelefasi who pushed Kobeth Reinach after the penalty, after the knock-on, which initially started up the push and shove. Fezambata going away to the right-hand side. Big collision there for Yako Williams. And another penalty against Evan Ruiz, the second of the match. Grant Williams taking it quickly. Goes off to Seal Kolesi. He did have strapping around his head at the start of this game. He hasn't got it now. Been ripped off in the process. India scored 271 runs for the T20 match versus India. Up against New Zealand. Be sure not to give any more spoilers though, as I am hoping to watch that one afterwards without knowing the result. But that is definitely going to be a hard one to be able to chase down for the Kiwis. Vincent Tachuka now taking that carry, currently sitting 10 metres out from the line. Fezambata. Oxenshare on himself in an offside position, says Rory. It's all right. We already knew that they were 2 down for about, I think it was 90. But that was the last update that I had. Emil van der Heeren pick and go from the big man. Now going up. Getting closer that time. Vincent Tachuka only a couple metres out there. Looked like a knock on. They've called it as backwards. And the try is scored by Ethan Hooker. I think they have to check that one in the breakdown though, to make sure that it did travel backwards rather than forwards. And Power Bite, people haven't seen much of Moonga unless you've seen JPTV. That season tries. It's now the second one of the season for Ethan Hooker. This does deserve another check though, I would think. Great hands from Emil van Heeren initially. Then from there, Vincent Tachuka had the pick and go. And then right here, that's when I believe there was at least something that looked marginally like a knock on. There was a drop ball anyway, but they're not going to show it on the replay by the looks of it. Okay, clearly backwards is the call by the referee, so they've cleared it all. They've said it's all right. This game is so intense. Good for an early game, says Kahu. And problem, Power Bite, people haven't seen, I read that one, didn't I? But that kick has gone over from the Sharks, making the score now 14 points to 11 after 25 minutes. I really do like Hooker's size and skills, says Reno. But yeah, just going for that pick and go. Diving over the middle of the breakdown. Or just beside it, I should say. Diving over the middle would be a penalty against him. Now a 3-point lead for the Shark side. Sasha Feinberg Ngumezula gets us back underway. Fassi and Willemse having a combo. It's the box 15 fighting. Oh no, too much on that one from Sasha. Kicks it dead. And now him and Hendrickse have both had a mistake off kickoff. Fassi says, you get my jersey. It's mine, Gaza. It was mine before you took it. I won a Rugby World Cup in it, so back off. Says Kutenda. Glasgow fans are happy right now. How good is that? Says Kahu, although this game is far from over. Still plenty of time. 14 minutes in the first half and an additional 40 afterwards. Stormers coach looks worried. I think that the discipline of the Stormers is probably the thing that's made him most nervous from this game. Given away a lot of penalties. Some have been a bit softer than others. I think Evan Ruiz has given away 2. Paul de Villiers has given away that 1 and then the yellow card. I don't think Ben Jason Dixon's given away 1 as of yet, or at least not that I have seen. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't. But Grant Williams, scrum on the halfway line. Oh, has to dodge the referee. Be able to feed that ball in. Oxen shared down on his knee. And that scrum shuffling sideways, do no advantage in their favour now. Jordan Hendricks tries a short pass. It's picked up by Similani. It's a nice work from the outside centre for the Stormers. He is kind of shuffled anywhere that he's needed in that back line. It's a hard take for Edouard van der Merwe, but catches it over his shoulder. Does call the mark inside of his 22. Imagine if the Stormers lose and Leinster. Says Kyle, I know that you are certainly imagining it since your Glasgow Warriors would get a bit more of a lead. If that was the case. Now, Van der Merwe, he does put that ball into touch, only about 25 metres out from the Sharks line, so definitely didn't quite have the angle he would have liked, who has scored so far. So far in this contest for the Sharks, we did see Ethan Hooker score alongside Grant Williams. And then on the other side, we've seen Kobus Reinach score. That's correct, isn't it? It was Grant Williams who got the first try for the Sharks, I believe. Hello everyone, says Anton, welcome in. And the Sharks says Beware. Andre Hugo Finta, ready for the throw. How are the Stormers doing? Other than the ill-discipline, they've looked all right. Haven't really seen that classic Stormers backline attack as of yet, but there's a big chance here as they have got themselves the penalty advantage. 22 metres out from the opposition line. Evan Ruiz cutting back inwards. Andre Hugo Finta, after just throwing the line out, gets himself a carry of his own. Looking for the steal with Handro. Jacobs does it legally, so they will go back for that penalty. Side entry. It's the penalty there. Hopefully we aren't going to have too many more yawns. It's currently past 4:30 a.m. here in New Zealand. You see that rolling ball just in through the side of it. Dragging it down. I think it was Handro Jacobs. Does get himself penalised there. Now the Stormers, they are within the 10 metres. Damn, that's number 3, says Reno. I think we get up to 10 by the end. You need sleep, says Anton. Yeah, I've almost been up for 24 hours. At the early morning start for junior cricket. Now thrown over the top, taken by Pepsi Buthelezi. And it's a mistake from the Sharks that, again, they did not really need. Oh, sorry, from the Stormers, I should say. It gives a great clearing opportunity for Grant Williams. Oh, okay. Someone has to be very careful there for the Stormers. What happened was they tried to charge it down, and the referee said, you can't. The player said, you said that I could, and the referee pretty much said, don't put words in my mouth. So I would be very careful if I was that player. Now, so you get yourself probably marched back 10. You're going to sleep the weekend away. Most likely, I believe the plan is going to be sleep for some of Sunday, which is today for us here in New Zealand. Get up so that I can do the sevens that are taking place later on in the day, tomorrow morning, for you guys in South Africa. And then from there, finish the sevens and then go on to work in the morning on Monday. Comes Reinach with another offload and another penalty awarded to the Stormers. Are you going out? I won't be going out for Sunday, I don't think. But I will be going out to work on Monday. We got a donation from Philip. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Go the Stormers is the comment there. Oh, referee once again. Okay, he's pretty much said you got to up your discipline when it comes to lineouts. So that's not an official across the board warning, but it's certainly a lineout warning. So if the Stormers are smart, they'll go for a line out here. And that is exactly what they're going to be doing. Sasha kicks it just about 10 metres out. It seems like the Sharks just can't quite get their timing at the moment when it comes to that line out. They've thrown a guy straight across the line in the last one. Collapsing it in the side, the one before that. Now still the 9 minutes in this first half left. Andre Hugo Fenta. Awesome, Philip. You can't bribe Hamish to make the Stormers win. Says Ruby. It's nicely taken by Evan Ruiz. He's tackled low by Pepsi Butalezi. Now pick and go. Oh, Andre Smith goes over. They want to check this one. Right. I think that was all right. I think that Andre Smith may have just scored that try. Don't be sad, my best friend. Says Mohadeen. And we have there coming Stormers. Come on, says Carleen. And the box says beware. So the on-field decision is try at this stage for Andre Smith. They just want to check to make sure that there was no knock-on and also to make sure that it wasn't double movement, which I think they'll be clear for both. Okay, I think there might be potential of obstruction. I no wonder you're single, you're either at work or doing a podcast, says Please and Tease. Yeah, that takes up a lot of my time. And then normally outside of those two, I'm coaching kids cricket or playing cricket myself. So, yeah, free time doesn't come around too often, unfortunately, but I'm that used to it that I just keep on going. Perfect try, says Kevin. Yeah, so they want to check this one to see if there's some sort of gap. Right, so play on is called. Okay, no, you're not allowed to do that. I think Nettling Fouchier has taken the man off the ball. So from there, it created the gap, and that sounds like it's going to be an obstruction penalty. It looks not clear, says Reno. And I mentioned that 1990s movie, The Crying Game. A chicken it is actually a man. Sorry, spoiler alert, says Powered by. Kiwi Sir, how's the game been so far? It has been fast-paced. It has been action-packed. Okay, so it's going to be obstruction against number 3. No try is the call there. And Nettling Fouchier, that is one of the reasons why he is not captain. That's not a try. What's the point? Says Kevin. So 14-11 now with the way that it sits. After 32 minutes, I'm not sure. With the lock stocks as they are in the box, including Ben Jason Dixon and Peter Seftotoy, who covers lock. And RVH playing well. Morat will make 2027. He needs more starts before becoming captain of the box. You think your team can chase down 240 to win the cricket, says YZ Smith? Probably not, but I am hoping to watch it after this or a little bit later on. So please no extra spoilers as they get close, because I feel like they will be getting few overs in by now. But yeah, it's going to be a tough total to chase. How are things going in the Kiwi camp? Says Martin. I haven't heard too much about the All Blacks coaching update. I assume they'll have one before Super Rugby, but it's a bit of a wait and see. How come that Stormers line out is wonky? Says Gavin. I'm not sure which one. It must have been that original one. I did probably miss it at the time. Now Jordan Hendrickson running this one forward, tackled by Nettling Fouchier. It was a big opportunity for the Stormers to add additional points. Haven't been able to do it now. Apalili Farsi tries to shovel it on. It's knocked on by Vincent Chichuke out wide. It was a terrible pass way in behind him. Now offloaded from Valimza to Reinach. That one goes into touch. Bounces back into the field of play when a super starting. Not next week, the weekend after. Who's supporting the cricket? Oh no, I read that one. Oh no, I didn't. But I don't really have a team in the cricket either, to be fair. In the BBL, they all rotate that much that I lose track of who's actually playing where. I'm the coach and Mr. Bean is my defence coach. Says Sock. Have you tried the new cricket ball yet? I did give it a go at practice on Thursday. It was the one, there was one of them that was quite pink. So I decided to try that one out first, and it seemed to go all right. Sorry to spoil your day with the cricket. I will stick to the rugby, says YZ. To be fair, you didn't spoil anything that I didn't already know. It's just more so at the end of this game, they'll be getting somewhere around the stage of knowing whether or not they'll get it or not. Yeah, but I'm more than happy to talk about it on the streams tomorrow night after I've caught up and watched it. And now, that ball's going to be available for the Sharks just inside of their own half. Almost a steal on the breakdown from Ben Jason Dixon. Call his play on. Apalele Fasi, that looked like he was taken out a little bit late. They're saying he was already committed though. Why don't you show the match on screen, not talk, says Joel. Mainly because it's illegal is the best reason behind it. It would be copyright infringement. Get probably sued. Get banned from YouTube for 3 months. So there's many reasons why we can't show it. But it is on DSTV and it is on URC TV. So those are your options for being able to watch it without having to listen to me tell you about it. Apalele Fasi kicking that one downfield after managing to get the turnover and the breakdown for the Sharks. Now Jonathan Roach turns fire with a kick of his own. That's a huge kick from the youngster. He is known for that long boot. He's managed to get them down to about 40 metres out from the Sharks line now. For 24 hours. You want to go watch cricket after this? Says Martin. Maybe. I'll see how much energy I have. Like if I all of a sudden hit a bit of a wall, I'll probably go to sleep first and then maybe watch it at about maybe 3 p.m. That might actually be the better way of doing it, I would say. It looks like Ardre Smith has got a bit of a limp, so JD Schickerling will make his way on. You want poor Hamish in jail, says Joe. Oh, it looks like Corne Ral's injured, so it's a day for Force to be injured at the exact same time. Now, they have also got the option off of the bench of Jason Jenkins. And then Nick Haddon is the other option in terms of those forward replacements outside of the front row. Okay, says Joel. And come on, the Stormers, says Anton. And someone kept in the box. He shouldn't be in the 50, says Joe. Looks like a decent-sized crowd for this match. Stormers supporters have made the trip, as well as the ones going for the Sharks too at home. Free Hamish, says Ruby. Currently 35 minutes in to what has been a very fast-paced first half of rugby. The only thing that slightly slowed us down is actually the injuries and the drinks breaks, but outside of that, it's been relatively smooth sailing. They've actually managed to find decisions pretty quickly as well with the TMO. There's the Namibian flag. Sadly, a side that did miss out on that Rugby World Cup. I've got the hello, Hamish in prison, rubbing man nipples. Hamish wants to go to jail. Is it nice in jail? Not that I know of. Well, I haven't been too often. Hamish lives matter, and I'm sick of this hot weather. I'm finished. Says Cats now, and thanks. I got to run. Have an awesome game all, says Reno. So yeah, we may end up seeing you tomorrow for the 7th semi-finals. G'day. Says Cats now there too. 5 minutes now remaining. I think we should get Razor to come coach the Lions, says Martin Meyer. He was in relatively high demand after it was announced that he was leaving the All Blacks job. Taken at the front for Vincent Tuchuka from Fezampata, now Kolisi. Set up once more, and again Grant Williams will look to go for that aerial kicking battle. See whether or not Stormers return the favour. That was almost a tackle in the air on Dylan Mart. Now Reinach. Oh, terrible pass to JD Schickerling, who has done very nicely to be able to regather, and he will go this time for that box kick that I mentioned. A lot of screaming going on in the breakdowns too. It seems like both of these sides are having a good old chat while they're out there. It's knocked back by the Stormers. Reinach. Oh, he almost ended up playing that ball on the ground and did knock it on in the process. So the Sharks have to scrum on the halfway line. 4 minutes left here. They were just asking that question of whether or not there was a player taken in the air. But yeah, for anyone wondering about the semi-finals, Fiji are playing New Zealand. That has taken place at, it will be 7:52 p.m. New Zealand time tonight. And that is going to be 8:52 a.m. for you guys in South Africa. South Africa also have their semi-final up against the French. That has taken place at 8:14 p.m. New Zealand time, 9:14 a.m. in South Africa. You ready for jail, Hamish? Says Mohadeen. No, not if I can avoid it. It would be nice to stay out for a bit longer, I would think. Only first half Stormers will bounce back in the second half. I think he's a world-class coach. Just wrong place, wrong time, says Martin. And Sharks are ahead, says Ruth. You're currently leading by the 3 points, but that is a big steal at scrum time from the Stormers against the feed. Managing to win it. Oh, little bit of push and shove there, Handro Jacobs. Just getting rid of Kobus Reinach. He was not too happy with the halfback. Looks like Sasha's actually going to have a strike here at the post from outside of 50 metres. Will not be the easiest kick. He'll give it a fair old crack. It also uses up more of the time. The end of this first half, if the kick does go over, they will be back to 14-14. Amazing how fast time goes when the game is exciting. Absolutely. This game has flown by. I should mention, there's another game taking place at the moment as well. Zebra versus Connacht. Looks like he's got a decent bit of distance on a great kick from Sasha. It's gone over. Makes the score 14-all for these two teams. While we are waiting for that reset, I'll quickly refresh. And hopefully, with a little bit of luck, I'll put Zebra versus Connacht in the corner. It's 14-14 at the moment. Off again, nicely taken by Ruben van Heeren. Being told to use it. Let's take from Apalilifasi on the halfway line. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is definitely the better game, ladies and gentlemen. I've just seen the score in Zebra versus Connacht, and boy, if we had covered that game, I would have been asleep by now. Now Fassi kicks it high. Oh, good contested one, but it goes into the hands of Ethan Hooker. Philip is throwing money at Hamish again. Lovely. Says Ruth. Now pick and go. Sia Kolisi. Now, another knock on there. Will be the last minute scrum coming for the Sharks. What is the score there? So anyone who doesn't want a spoiler for what the score is in Zebra versus Connacht, I recommend blocking your ears. I'm going to duck down so you can't see my mouth. When I say it, I'm going to say it in 3, 2, 1. The score at the moment in that Connacht versus Zebra game is 3-0 to Zebra. 3-0. Right, we are good. Anyone who didn't want to hear that, hopefully you did mute. I told you they will make a comeback. Hamish, what's all this you're saying about man nipples? I'm confused, says Powerbite. Now, I only read out when someone said about man nipples. So I think you have to ask them. About 20 seconds left. This first half, Hamish, what did I miss? Heard the stadium from far away on my walk. And how much time gone? In that game, they're up to 39 minutes as well. And just, I don't know what's happened throughout the game. To be fair, Connacht were on attack when I was just watching for that little bit of time. But yeah, far from a high-scoring close one, which I feel like is what we're going to have here. I did say that in this contest, I was hoping to see both sides get around that 30 points. That is the halftime siren now just sounding, but Grant Williams will first have the opportunity to feed the ball in. I would be in dreamland if you did that game, says Mohadeen. And yeah, this game's been the complete opposite of that one. This has been all-out action. Now, cross Andre Esterhuizen to Ethan Hooker. Already scored 1 try in this match. Sasha rushing up to defend, so it meant that Grant Williams decided instead of going out the back line, he will run it himself. Ethan Hooker looking for the pass, misses everyone, finds Andre Esterhuizen. Now he tries to break through 3 Stormers players. And 14-all. Okay, nice and tight, says Sighted. Sharks 26 to the Stormers 22, says Leon for the prediction. Passed out wide to Edward Funamurva. Currently 1 minute past the halftime break. And Ahoy H says, Wampia Bosch, welcome in. Now see Kolisi putting in the big push once again, looking for the steal, and the breakdown was Paul de Villiers. Now he has to be extremely careful not to give away any other penalties, or else he could find himself going to the bin once more. Big shot on Upper Lelefasi, and that is a penalty now for the Stormers. Right, Kobus has to be very careful here because Reinach is getting right in the face of the Sharks players. He's playing with their faces. He was grabbing Upper Lelefasi's chin there. And of course, that's fine because they're teammates for the Springboks. But the referee looking at that, he might go, no, you're trying to provoke him, penalty against you. I can't really afford to have that as what happens. Another arrest in the DJ Waters case last night, says Kevin, but Sasha has decided he wants to line up the additional 3 points once more. He did start off missing his first kick, but since then he has managed to get every kick over. It's halftime in Zebre versus Connacht as well. And that one has gone over. And that is going to make the score now 17 points to 14. Heading into the second half. Khaleesi knocks on is all we hear. Is Khaleesi with the ball. Oh, there's a knock on. A disembodied knock on belonging to nobody. The knock on Bird. Khaleesi on the ball. Oh, there's a knock on, says Powerboy. I don't actually think Khaleesi's knocked the ball on too many times throughout this game, though. It's just normally because of how fast the passes are happening, I don't end up calling out who actually knocked it on in the end. But I can't think of a handling error that he's had in this match yet. But maybe that's just my bad memory. 20 points to 18 to the Stormers, says Anton. Big kick coming, says Cited. Previously, the Sharks were dropping the ball and knocking it on. Why do you think there is a sudden change in handling error, says YZ? It's a good question. I think sometimes it's just that level of concentration. And when it is the harder to handle conditions, that sometimes actually makes the team catch better because they're watching the ball a little bit closer into the hands. Some kicks off, he makes it. Hamish, who's going to win in your great wisdom? I'm thinking 35-32, but I'm not sure who's going to win it. It will be very close. That is for sure. But currently, in Durban, it's a decent crowd for this match. What we're going to be doing is looking through at what is to come for these two sides, though. First off, the home side, the Sharks. Their next game is up against the Lions. That has taken place in 21 days' time. And that is going to be one of a couple South African derbies in a row. Their game after that is up against the Bulls. From there, they play Munster and they play Cardiff. So 4 games throughout the next 8 weeks of the URC competition. In terms of what is coming up for this Bulls side, they also play the Lions, but they have an additional week that they have to wait for. Then 2 weeks after that, they go up against the Bulls, then the Dragons in Edinburgh. So that is their long-term 8-week plan that is coming up for the Stormers as well. But looking through at the way the table sits, this is how it looked before the Bulls got themselves the win over the Lions. Now they sit up in the 7th place. The Lions sit there in 8th. Depending on who wins this game, either the Sharks can make their way up towards that top 8 position, or the Stormers can close their gap with Glasgow just that little bit more. The top of the standings. Average last time we spoke, it was raining, but now it is raining my cats and dogs in South Africa. In Johannesburg, I cannot believe that it is now sunny. But now it was sunny. Now it's raining, says Kyle. Yeah, it just shows how quickly the weather can change. They are doing a sound check on the rugby by the sounds of it. And Sharks were creaking a bit under pressure. And that's a team filled with box. Can't do that under pressure, says Cited. And 20 points to 18 is not possible, says Rory. Wait, 20 points. Oh, okay, so Anton gave that prediction earlier on. Apparently they're promising a new rule where the box kick is not genuinely contested by the attacking side will result in a penalty against. Almost like sticking one hand out to catch an intercept. Do they need more rules in rugby, though? I know that Varsity Cup, we were talking about it, I want to say it was yesterday, or maybe the day prior, how they're talking about adding like a touchdown type of effect, how after you score a try, you have 2 minutes to try and score another one for some bonus points. But like rugby law books are complicated enough as they currently sit. I don't think you need all the extra confusion in there too. 32-35 to somebody. That's fairly zen. But I would be more zen to say a 17-17 draw. Test cool story. I think we're going to have a few more extra points. Although, to be fair, that was all the points that we saw in the game between Zebre and Connacht. They're showing a few of the highlights. Connacht looked like they scored a try, but it must have been disallowed in that contest. The Sharks are one of those teams who have way less than the sum of their parts. I blame the ownership. Who would be no good for any franchise that they own, says Powerbite. Western Cape has been dry all the fires, and why don't Hamish pay for everyone's food on the chat? I think that would cost quite a bit of money. Currently got 400 people watching, so even if you guys all got like $1, like what even is $1 anymore in New Zealand? I don't even know if we got anything that's $1, like $1 McDonald's ice cream. Is that still a thing? I feel like it's probably not. If I bought everyone a singular Wicked Wing, it would cost about probably $1,200. Maybe they'd give me a discount though, because that's a lot of Wicked Wings. It looks like they're doing some sort of race out there on the Durban field. I will mention next round of the URC was taking place, well, at least one match of the URC is taking place in 3 weeks' time. The next full round is in 4 weeks' time. As you can see there, Edinburgh versus Scarlets, Cardiff versus Leinster, which should be a very intriguing game. Lions Stormers are Bulls Sharks, so a couple of South African derbies thrown in there for good measure. Connacht versus Glasgow, Munster Zebra, and then Dragons Benetton and Ospreys versus Ulster. Now, there were questions of whether or not Ospreys would even be a team at that point, with the amount of confusion around Welsh Rugby Union at this point in time. But if they are still a side, they will be playing up against a very tough opposition in the Ulster side. But what we will do is we will put up the benches, ladies and gents, just a little bit bigger so you guys can read them slightly easier. A few changes still to be made. JD Schickling has made his way on. I don't think Jason Jenkins has. Cornette Rao managed to continue in the match. Outside of that, though, I don't think we've seen a huge amount of changes made for either of these sides. It will be intriguing to see what Ntatuko Machunu alongside Zachary Porthen can do throughout that second 40 minutes, whether they can get their momentum in their favour. Start to get those scrums going. For the Stormers side, one moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute. We are good. We've also got, what is a Wicked Wing? Only one chicken wing, that sounds like torture. I can eat 24 chicken wings easy. Yeah. Like, one Wicked Wing probably wouldn't be enough, but I couldn't think of anything that was like, I only knew that a Wicked Wing is probably $3 here in New Zealand. I'm not sure of the price of too many other bits and bobs. And Sharks have the stronger bench, in my opinion, says Rory. And how was it a penalty? Says a Tarkoof. I assume that's for that last one that ended up going against the Sharks. Been a few interesting ones throughout this game, I do have to say. It's 20 Rand a cone by me. That's a decent price for a cone of ice cream. I'm currently it's currently hailing in Johannesburg right now as I'm recording this. Given this is a raining cats and dogs, it's so loud and humid here in Durban. The grass is also brown here at the same time. And the Stormers, I've heard to the last penalty before the half. Says a Taku, and no way $3 for a single wing. That is insane. I think it's about that here in New Zealand. I think you can get or if you get enough of them, they get cheaper. Like, I think you can get a box of them for, or maybe a bucket for like $35 for 20 wings. I think is the highest they go. Currently the lead at the moment for the Stormers, 17 points to 14. They've managed to score themselves just the one try. That was within 23 seconds of this game getting underway. That was scored by Kobus Reinach. Outside of that, we have seen the rest of the tries being scored by penalties. The rest of the points being scored by penalties. You keep tabs on India versus New Zealand cricket. Looking at the score now. See, here's Cape Tonian. I am trying my best to avoid any sort of spoilers before getting to watch it. I know how many runs India got just because of seeing a few updates, but I'm hoping to avoid anything to do with New Zealand's batting until later on when I get to watch the game. How much is laptops by you? Depends on the laptop. You can probably get one for anywhere between about, say, 300 New Zealand dollars and up to like maybe 5,000 New Zealand dollars, depending on the laptop. I bought 4 chicken drumsticks for 26 Rand. See, 2 bits of chicken in New Zealand is the equivalent of about 550 Rand. No, that can't be right. Must be 55 Rand for 2 pieces of chicken. Stormers still as the ball's away, says Kahu. Okay, I won't say anything. Good you told me, says Cape Tonian. Okay, I see spicy wings, says Anton. Don't spoil it, says Kyle. And there too. See, my problem is if I look up KFC prices here in New Zealand, I'm going to want KFC. But it's currently 5 a.m. And no KFC that I know of is open at 5 a.m. Pick up ASAP is the one that they're trying to give me. But where is just the menu? They have a Wicked box at the moment, which is 4 Wicked wings, a bread roll, potato and gravy, and also chips for $10. That's a good deal. How do I see prices of Wicked wings? That would be a snack, surely. Snack. We'll get there eventually. Maybe Wicked wings. 3 wings. 3 wings for $7.50. So $2.50 a Wicked wing is how much it is in New Zealand. I don't know what that translates into for South African Rand. We'll go NZD to Rand. So, what did I just say? That's 73 South African Rand for 3 Wicked wings. And New Zealand batting well so far. Don't be spoiling nothing. No, we're going to try our best to avoid any sort of spoilers before we get into that match. One moment, I'm about to sneeze again, so I'll quickly mute. We are good. And that step says Cape Tonian. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit more expensive. No way, that is chicken extortion. And 24/7 in South Africa says please and teas, and New Zealand chickens must be special. I think Edinburgh will win. They normally have a decent shot, Edinburgh, although their game up against, they're playing Leinster, aren't they? That's going to be a tough game. How big are those wings? Probably about that little. Like they're just normal, stock standard size wings. They're not huge. Do you think Edinburgh will win? Says Kahu. I'd say they'd have to play very well. But for 2 bits of chicken, I think it's about 54 South African Rand here in New Zealand. But sometimes they have a deal. Yes, but we have to get there first. Says please and teas. KFC Deep in Durban City was open 24/7 in 2003. Well, there you go. Oh, has there just been? Yes, there's been a try in the Zebra versus Connacht game. The first try of the match, and it is in the second half. In South Africa, you can buy a vat cake burger and chips for 60 Rand. And the price of DSTV per month is similar to a cheap car payment per month. Says Martin. Looks like Vincent Koch has made his way onto the field as well here for the Sharks, just as the second half is about to get underway by everyone. It's up at a restaurant tonight, says Mohadeen. And bring out something old. What do you think is the hardest ball for the Rugby World Cup 2027? I'll be honest, I don't think there's really a hard pull per se, but there's certainly a hard side of the draw, and that's the one where New Zealand and South Africa more than likely meet in the quarterfinal. But trying to think of those groups. Is it bad that I've pretty much forgotten who's in each group of the Rugby World Cup? Even though the draw only happened not that long ago, my brain's gone completely blank. I know that New Zealand have Hong Kong, Australia, and someone else. I'm not sure our chicken is even chicken here. Says Martin, South African, don't try the beef. We have a foot and month out break. Now, second half, already 1 minute down. I think this one's going to absolutely fly by. A ribeye steak sounds good too. Says, how's it? I think the one was it Samoa or Fiji had a tough group? Might have been Samoa or Tonga. Alimza, well, that's a big knock on from the Stormers side. I'm going to look up the Rugby World Cup draw. Here we go. Closer look at the pools. There are only 6 pools. Oh yeah, I guess there are, sorry. See, I would probably say pool F, maybe pool E for that second place will be intriguing. Leading dominance will be New Zealand, but they can be caught off guard by Australia, says Ataku. Feed for Grant Williams. Hopefully scrums don't dominate the time throughout the second half, but there is a possibility that it could end up happening, and it's another free kick going in favour of the Stormers. This Sharks scrum has been fully struggling. Can't wait for the FIFA World Cup, Mexico versus South Africa opening game. Here's how's it? When is the FIFA World Cup taking place? And should we cover any of it on the channel? Is that something you guys would watch if I ended up doing some football commentary? Probably only be for South Africa and New Zealand's games, just because other than that, I have no idea about a lot of the teams. But in terms of... when is it? In June, by the looks of that. Oh, nice step from Paul de Villiers, breaks through. Oh, that was a clothesline on him by Ethan Hooker. Bit of push and shove there from Reinach as well, who's just looking to fight absolutely everyone. He's actually being, pardon my French, a bit of a pain in the ass throughout this game, and the referee is getting sick of him. But Paul de Villiers, his 5th season try as he goes over. And we have got the Stormers redeeming themselves away, just like the Sharks did last week. I think anyone is interested in this FIFA World Cup, just skip it, says cited. And go Ethan, says Ruby there too, but it is well done by Paul de Villiers. He came off his yellow card in the first half, now scoring in the second. Come on the Stormers, says Cape Tonian. And the kick has gone over. Can the score 24 points to 14. This scoreline now sitting relatively similar to what we saw last week, except it was reversed. But it's a great little pop pass there. I was actually kneeling for Shear, who gets the try assist. It was relatively high from Ethan Hooker. If we World Cup will be boycotted, Amish. Says cool story. Come on the Stormers, says Cape Tonian there. Jordan Hendrickson kicking off high. Oh, wanted to slap that one back. Ruben van Euren. Bit of a counter ruck, passes across to Andre Higofenta. This is where the Stormers 2 more tries would give them the bonus point. Paul should take over from Khaleesi. Says straight deal. And try, says Philip. Another penalty, this time awarded to the Sharks. And again, it just seems to be their own discipline that's letting them down. Reinach is the man who puts up his hand and apologises. That was for offside. The unfortunate reality for Reinach at the moment is if he spent more time concentrating on his own game rather than trying to fight every single player out there on the field, he might not give his team such a disadvantage at times. He's still fired up about it, Reinach, so you can tell if the Sharks score that something's going to happen. Now I feel normal again. My team is behind on the scoreboard. I felt weird when they were ahead earlier, says Ruby. Right, 4 and 2 coming off the field, so that's going to be Fezambate and Corneral. I guess we will have to see, especially with Mexico's home ground advantage, says Denzel. Right, so Edwin Swart making his way on. And Jason Jenkins also out there too. The Sharks should be ahead, but the discipline is letting them down a lot, says Cited. Yeah, I don't think either of these sides have been that flash disciplinary-wise. Oh, big rolling maul here. It was going sideways for a start. It's getting wrestled towards the touch line, just in the field of play. It's not coming out, though. Well defended by the Stormers. Yeah, it looks like Emil van Heeren just grabbing the shirt of Grant Williams, having a bit of a joke with him. Revenge is a dish best served humid. Sharks going down. For now they are, but it's not over yet. Stormers will blow away the Sharks, says Anton. Still the 34 minutes left. That's a long time in a game of rugby. Saw a try scored in 23 seconds at the start of this game, and they didn't even receive the kickoff. They're able to get that turnover penalty. And the Sharks so far throughout this game, they have had the strongest scrum, which is surprising when you look at the front row with Vincent Koch, Oxenshire out there at the moment. Paul de Villiers about to lose his shirt next year to Colisi. Just like Brazo, Kutsia, Francois Lowe, Clark Smith. All this time, the free kick goes the way of the Sharks. So it's reversed the other way. Funny how Colisi always gets picked ahead of better players. Says power bite. Benefit of being a captain, isn't it? Normally you get picked ahead. Your first name on the team sheet. Grant Williams taking the quick tap. Going off to the left-hand side. Just look at the All Blacks and Scott Barrett. Emil van Heeren. Oh, that was just dumb in the breakdown. I don't know what that was from Andre Hugo Fenty. He almost got himself. Yeah, there is the advantage going against him now. Andre Esterhuizen, and he crawls just a little bit closer to the try line. Jason Jenkins wants the ball. He's going to be wrestled down. Now, Oxenshire, he will be hard to stop. He is flattened out just short of the try line again. And there is a new penalty advantage in favour of the Sharks. Andre Esterhuizen goes straight through, and that is the Sharks' try back in the contest. And this seems like a yellow card. Could be coming for the Stormers here again. Who scored, says Joe Mann. So that last try, the try just then was scored by Andre Esterhuizen. The try for the Stormers was scored by Paul de Villiers. Just remembered. No man, says Cape Tonian. I would love to see Henry Pollock versus Evan Ruiz in a rugby game, says Cape Tonian. And it showed in the box when Dweber was given a chance with the box and failed to utilise it. You can have two props on either side. But if you're poor, hey, I'll put the team down. Fez wasn't good today. Yeah, whereas last week he was one of the standouts, wasn't he? From what I remember, unless I'm remembering the wrong game. I think he had a really solid game when he had to replace Bongyo Manambi as a late injury change. Idea is not looking good for the Sharks, says Big Rig, although they are now only 3 points down after managing to score that try with Andre Esterhuizen, the stash connected to Esterhuizen. It's a thing of pure power, I've just decided, says Cited. We've got an intense last 30 minutes here. Connacht have come to play in the second half up against Zebre as well, I should mention. Yes, Hamish, got the Sharks. Let's show them. Last weekend was no fluke, says Godfrey. And now Sasha, Feinberg, Umgumene Zulu, ready to kick this one off. He's decided to go for the distance on the kick. Down to 5 metres out from the line. Vincent Chishuka runs it back and kneeling for sheer. Let's get down to ground now. Stormers told to get out of it. They just don't listen. Unfortunately, Ben Jason Dixon, the man penalised for that one, now passed across. Jordan Hendrickson going to the right-hand side. Ethan Hooker, he's got Edwin van der Merwe on the outside. Doesn't decide to use him just yet. But the Sharks, due to that penalty, they gain 50 metres. Apalele Fasi goes across to Jordan Hendrickson. Pushed down by Untatuko Machunu. Apalele Fasi looking for the cross kick. No one really chasing here, but it will pull up 5 metres out from the line. There's Damien Valimza. Been limited in terms of the amount of chances he's had throughout this contest thus far. Again, it was just the referee yelling out, don't go for that ball, and Ben Jason Dixon going, oh well, he must have said I might as well have a crack at it anyway. It's not the first time, about 5 times now in this match. The Stormers have given away unnecessary penalties. Zachary Porthan makes his way onto the field. It will also be Jaja Kutsia. And Ututuku Machunu went on just prior as well. And also Ruben van Heeren, he's in the bin. The yellow card that did take place not too long ago during that try of Andre Estaiz, in which Farsi would stay out of the line. Says Stormer there, go, smash them, and all this from a free kick and a scrum. Says Kahu. Now line out for the Sharks. 22 metres from the line. Edwin Swart gets it into Emil van Heeren. Alceo Corlisi breaking off the back, gets round one tackle attempt, bulldozes almost through the second. I believe it was Sasha who had to eventually drag him down. Ethan Hooker almost through a gap, 5 metres out from the line. That's very cynical from Paul de Villiers in the breakdown again, but they are going back for the initial penalty. But boy, these men are living dangerously for the Stormers. I don't know whether or not they have had other games where they haven't been penalised for it, but they are on the verge of another yellow card if they keep on diving into the breakdowns like they just did. And Ollie, as a Glasgow fan, pretty stressful. It's all about speed. Geez, they both gunning it in all directions. I'm out of breath keeping up on my couch. Says Sider. Yeah, neither of these sides are taking a backward step, are they? At 21-24, this is close. Says Kyle. I said there about the consistency of the penalties being awarded. And now Edwin Swart. Again going in. Taken by the Sharks. Rolling Mole shaping up here. And another advantage in favour of the Sharks side. Grant Williams, short ball straight through. Yako Williams scores it. And that's the bonus point now for the Sharks side. Taking the lead in Durban and leaving this game with at least 1 point. Hamish, name me the 13, was better than Captain O'Driscoll. Name me Openside Fetcher, was better than Richie McCaw. You don't have an inferior player as your captain. You really hate Khaleesi, don't you, Powerboy? And it must haunt you at night time because no matter what happens on these streams, you always go on about it. So, like, you know, you can either get over it because he's going to be the captain for a little while more, or you can suffer in silence. But now, getting ready to line up this kick for Jordan Hendrickse. This one will add the additional 2. It is straight out in front, through the gap on the angle. Thank you very much. I said Stormers noises, a big noise at the stadium here, says cool story. That is because back-to-back tries have been scored here by the Sharks team. Khaleesi may not be the best player ever. He is the best captain ever by far, says Bronk. Come on, shoes. I can't get a better game toe-to-toe. Yeah, this game has been back and forth all throughout the first. The crazy thing is the first 53 minutes. We've still got 27 minutes left. Do you think Andre Estaiz has become a better player since becoming a hybrid player? He has so much more confidence, says YZ Smith. I think he's always been great, though, Andre Estaiz. And even in his days back at the Harlequins, before he was fully on the South African radar, like, he's just the type of player who can literally do it all. He reminds me, we were talking about hybrid players a little bit earlier on the 7 streams. He's very much like someone similar to a Luciano Gonzalez for the Argentines. How not only is he quick, not only is he powerful, but his work in the breakdown is what separates him from a lot of other 12s around the world. And the fact that he can offer you those other positions is absolutely huge too. I see lead South Africa to their next World Cup title. We want an apology, says Cape Tonian. And also we have got there, what's going on, says Anton. Yes, it's gone up and down throughout this game, momentum-wise. We have got there that Stash gives him superpowers with authority from the rugby god, says Cited. He said in the 30s, not far. Yeah, what was my prediction? 35-32, I believe it was in the end. Sharks to win the URC from here. The thing is, if they keep on playing the way that they are, it could happen. As long as they're in the top 8. My psychiatrist is currently staging an intervention. Feeding me happy pills won't work, though. I think you need a second one as well. And yeah, because 2 World Cups is not good enough, says Cool Story. Imagine having an issue with one of the most successful Box captains in the history of the Box, says Daryl. Now ready to feed this ball in, it will be Stephen Nkura. They have taken Cobus Reinach off the field, which is probably good. I'm normally a big fan of Reinach, but in this game he's been a walking, talking penalty. Oh, and that's a penalty to the Sharks. Now, I don't think you want the scrum feed in this game. In fact, I don't think anyone has retained their own scrum for the whole about last 30 minutes. Khaleesi has proven that his captaincy has matured and he has the respect of the players. He is older. He's been through the injuries, so he's an incredible, influential player and captain. I'm sure you are a sporting fan. He'll win the Australian Open men's tennis tomorrow. I didn't even know it was on. I'll be honest, YZ Smith. What time is it on? New Zealand time. If it's New Zealand time, or even South African time, do let me know. Maybe I have to watch it. Long time, mate, says Hensel. Welcome back, Hensel. We've actually had a lot of people popping in today who haven't been on for a little while. It's as if maybe because it's the end of January, people have almost finished that real busy stage and now popping back in, but it is great to see you. We've had a thrilling contest between these two sides, and it's still got 24 minutes remaining. But who will win the Royal Rumble? I don't actually know who's in it, but that's good because I'm going to try and surprise myself if I end up watching that. UFC's on as well. I don't know what I'm going to watch. Alcaraz, for me in the tennis, says DJ. That one's gone high. Nice take from Damien Valimza. Calls the mark. I should mention, the reason that the Sharks have had so much momentum in the last little while is also because of that yellow card of Ruben van Heeren. Been off the field for the last 8 or so minutes. And that's been the time where the Sharks have had all of the ball. Making the most of it. They still can actually get one more attacking opportunity going. Got themselves a minimum of 1 point from this game. 2 bonus points could be on the card if they were to lose this game from here. More than likely within 7. January has been harsh. Or has been hard, says Daryl. You can see what good lineouts and a solid hooker does. Proctor one sport. He has bought a shift at number 2. And not even that. It's making more money than ever. Says Big Rig. And Stormers have been on the back foot for a majority of the game so far. And we live in a world where every sport is struggling financially except pro wrestling. Says Big Rig. Now going off to the left-hand side. Well, golf does all right for itself, doesn't it? It seems to always have a ever deep amount of cash. Oh, nice step from Vincent Tachuka. Trying to get that ball back to Pepsi Buthelezi, who's controlled it and given it back to Hatton. Now Jaden Hendrickse. Alka versus Djokovic. Oh, is that actually Novak Djokovic in the final? Who would have thought it? He's like 50 now, isn't he? No, he's not quite that old. I think he's probably 40, though. Nkura tries to get the turnover. Another penalty against the Stormers. The Stormers have PTSD from the last game, says Ruby. I imagine golf is less cost than rugby, football, NFL, hockey, etc., says Big Rig. Yeah, I guess a lot of the players probably pay for their own, kind of travel and accommodation and everything like that. You kind of just have to worry about yourself and your coach rather than a whole heap of people. Alcaraz versus Djokovic final at 10:30 South African time. 1 second. 10:30, that's in the morning, right? Australian Open, men's, it's not the men's doubles, is it? Men's singles. How do I find it? I don't know how to find it. I thought it would be on Google. Oh yeah, man, he made it through. Says Nards Williams. Cinnabet Novak, or am I wrong? Who's ball? And either way, the result goes in the tennis. Record will be broken, says DJ. Yeah, 10:30 South African time, and the AM would be 11:30 PM for us here in New Zealand, I think. No, sorry, it would be 9:30 PM for us here in New Zealand. Just after the 2 semi-finals of the sevens have taken place. A little bit of a stoppage here in play, but we're back in for the line out. It's the men's tennis final in Australia. It's 1 AM all time in South Africa, says Kyle. One's put high towards the sideline, waiting for the bounce of the ball was Edward van der Merwe, and luckily for him, it does bounce out. Always a bit of a risk letting the ball bounce like that. Why do they play so soon after the semis? And Djokovic is 38 years old. So here's YZ. Right, so Saturday 31st, women's final at 9:30. That must have been yesterday, actually. TV guide. They're currently doing the man of the match voting as well. Been a few players who have stepped up throughout this contest. They got a whole heap of replays for the Australian Open. Men's final, yeah, so 9:30 p.m. here in New Zealand, going through to 1 a.m. Be hard work, I would think, being a tennis player. Tennis players have really busy schedules, says DJ. Are you blinking someone scores? Come on, Stormers, says Denzel. Currently, the Sharks are still in a good position on the field, but the Stormers are the side with the possession. Now, Zachary Porthin trying to work his way out towards 10 metres from his line. Word on street is them Lions got cooked today. Yeah, they didn't quite have their best game, unfortunately. Can the Stormers still win? They absolutely can. They are only down by the 4 points. With still a quarter of this match to go. That one slapped sideways. Picked up by Andre Estes, and it's ruled as a knock-on. They were just about through there. Estes, a big smile on his face. Damien Willemse, no smile from him because he knew he had to try and tackle Andre Estes and had the big man broken through. They're just talking about the size and frame of Andre Estes, and when he gets some steam going, can be near impossible to stop. Connacht have actually done really well in the second half up against Zebre for that contest. And I will mention there are more games that are taking place later on. Leinster versus Cardiff. Leinster versus Edinburgh. It's the one around the corner. Ospreys versus Dragons and Ulster versus Cardiff. They are the three remainders for this round. Morning, everyone, or whatever time of day it is. Says Viral Shorts NZ. Yeah, I hope you are doing well. You're here for the final 20, which will be very entertaining. That one is kicked out by Watercalant. Good news is it was a legal kick too, and won't have to be taken back. How long until Van Geerden's back on? He has made his way back on just recently. Sharks need one score. And also the Sharks, says Colin in there. Will this be the first time in ages that the Sharks beat Western Province twice in a row? I would say so. It does not happen too often whatsoever. In fact, they'd hardly even beaten them during the URC period. So, it would be huge for the Sharks side in terms of their confidence. You love cricket so much, why don't you commentate on cricket? Only because of copyright. We've done cricket streams before and we got copyright strikes for them from other YouTubers who were doing their commentary who didn't want people doing it, so they copyright struck a whole heap of people. But I'd like to do some of the Cricket World Cup. I feel like it would be quite cool to be able to cover it because the last Cricket World Cup we tried to cover was 2021, which is a long time ago. So who knows, maybe we'll try and do something this year for it. I feel like if I end up covering New Zealand's game, I definitely have to cover South Africa's too, since they're the two main audiences on the channel. So if that's something you guys want to see, of course, do let me know. And if it doesn't overlap with any of the current games that we're doing, we'll see if we can make it happen. Now, Jaden Hendrickson kicks this ball up high. Ethan Hooker chasing. Oh, what a take that is from the Sharks. Number 13, he has won the aerial challenge up against Sasha. And now the Sharks back on attack. Jordan Hendrickson thought about the cross kick, gives it to Vincent Tuchuka, and that ball's just slipped out of the man's fingertips. Now Sasha looking for the counter run from inside of his 22, under pressure, but they go back for the penalty. I can't get anything over the fans here. The fans blow here to cool the house down, I mean. If you had to say you're a good commentator, you can make a game of curling exciting, says Cape Tonian. Bloody raining here, so South Africa versus West Indies is delayed, says Xander. And also, can you do the Soccer World Cup? We might consider it. If it doesn't overlap, that's the trickiest thing. I don't want to end up only being able to do 1 or 2 games. But I've done like a big schedule on like a document which pretty much has all of the sporting events with what times the games are taking place, or at least I've tried to track most of them. So, I'll have a look at that at some stage and see what does overlap. I don't think I put the FIFA World Cup in it yet. There's a Cricket World Cup this year, South Africa won't be good in it. Says cited. T20 World Cup, I think, is only about 2 weeks away. 1 second. World Cup 2026. Sorry, it's not even 2 weeks away. It starts in 6 days for the T20 World Cup. And interesting how NFL commentary is so boring. Says, cool story. And please, Uncle Hamish, says Mohadeen. Now we have got another stoppage. I believe this is actually the drinks break that the players do get. They have to get H works full time. Says DJ. Yeah, it's definitely the busy time of the year. He's just showing the man of the match nominations. I think it has to be Andre Esterhuizen or Ethan Hooker. I don't think you can give it to Paul de Villiers. Even though he's had a solid enough game, he got that yellow card, gave away a penalty early. Evan Ruiz has given away 2 penalties. Ben Jason Dixon's given away at least 1. Everyone knows you have to commentary like it's a horse race, and South Africa's defending champs. Says Kelly Stain there. And come on the Sharks, says Kahu. Now 17 minutes. It's a long time. The Stormers need 2 tries, not just to get them the bonus point, but it would possibly secure them 5 points. In this case, a score could be right, says Mohadeen. I actually think I might be quite close. Because the Stormers, if they get a 3-pointer soon, they'll take them up to 27. Then they score a try, get 5 points, unsuccessful in the conversion, and then the Sharks score and convert. 35-32. My score, bang on. Cricket World Cup, FIFA World Cup, if it happens. And South Africa versus New Zealand Rugby Test, good time, says Cape Tonian. And if the FIFA World Cup actually happens, sounds like it's on a knife edge. And how did Pepsi play, man of the match? He was all right, Pepsi put the lazy. He didn't quite get that same type of performance that we've seen in some of the past weeks. But, yeah, I think the loose forwards haven't had the same carries that we normally see for the Sharks. Not the biggest fan. The Sharks are kicking up and unders. Not so much on the issue of the chasers on the wing, but the kicks off 9 isn't really working. She'll put Jorenzo for Edward van der Merwe, hooker to 14. At least with cricket, you could have a cup of tea during drinks break, Hamish. Says YZ. Yeah, see, we've covered full test matches on the channel back in the old days. And, you do the first session of 2 hours, have a 40-minute break. Second session, 2 hours, have a 20-minute break, and then jump in for the third session of 2.5 hours, 5 days in a row. The Sharks need to win with more than 7 today. Says Cully Stain. That's going to be booted in behind by Sasha. Waiting at the back was Jaco Williams. He's under a huge amount of pressure from the Stormers defenders. Open Audi, try open YouTube installments. Says Kyle. And game's still on. It is. They did have a bit of a stoppage and a bit of a Coldplay break where they did show the fans in the stands with their lights out, but now back underway. And Jaden Hendricks sends the box kick up high. Down to halfway. That one's not taken cleanly by Edward van der Merwe, so advantage in favour of the Stormers. And Kura gets the offload away to Willems, who then drops the ball, so they'll go back for the scrum again. And it is enough time for the Stormers, can score 4 points. Back if there's enough time. Much rather have Jordan Hendricks a slot a drop goal next entry, just to get some points, convert opportunities. And what would you rate Sasha's playing today? I'd give him about a 6 out of 10. Maybe that's a bit harsh, but I don't think he's been his normal X-Factor self. He's been good off the kicking tee, though. 25,364 in attendance for this game in Durban. Of course, plenty of great games still to come. When it comes to South African derbies, Stormers, they are playing the Bulls. They are playing the Lions also. The Sharks have their game up against the Lions in the near future too. Stormers will win, says Kwandile. And it's 65 minutes correct. Just about. I think it's 64 minutes. It's a little bit quick in terms of the clock at the moment. mainly because of all the stoppages we have had in the second half. I rate both teams 5 out of 10. Says Cited and the Stormers will win, says Quandile. I like the positivity, and too late, says Susan. I like the Stormers as much as I like Hamish. Says Cool Story Sharks. They have just got that vote for man of the match coming up again. I just heard someone say, take him down. Not sure who they're taking down. I would have thought the USA becoming a dubious place to travel. Says DJ, and coming the Stormers, says Anton, and also the Stormers try time, says Julian Moses. You see, it is still well and truly anyone's game for the taking. But the clock is back on, 65 and a half minutes through now, I do see. This one is a lot closer than we saw in the game between the Bulls and the Lions at this same point in time. Okay, just getting some confirmation there. The front rows, only 4 points in it, exactly right. And now, here's Julian for Stormers try time. Andro Jacobs, he's come back onto the field for Vincent Koch, so that must be some sort of injury. Unless it was an HIA for Andro Jacobs. That ball's stolen by the Sharks at scrum time. I'm going to say it once again. I don't think you want the scrum feed in this game. It seems to be every time that the opposition don't have the feed, they actually manage to get the ball. Andre stays and well cleaned up. Gets his offload back into the hands of Jordan Hendrickson. Has a bit of a fumble there. Losing meters flat out here. A tackle made by Warkerland. Little chip in behind. Edward van der Merwe grubbers it forward once more. It's in the in-goal area and just rolls dead past Lilian Zas and Edward van der Merwe. How's it, Hamish? When does ZCBF get back, says Jason. So he is back, I think it's late March or somewhere around there. He is getting closer to the end of his suspension. But the only problem he's got now is the fact that throughout the next 8 weeks, these sides only play 4 games. So that makes it a little bit more challenging to get those matches under the belt. Hands. Nobody has hands, apparently. And come with the Stormers, says Bruce. You know, the Sharks feeding frenzy now. Stormers will win the scrum, says Quandile there too. Right, injury and substitution now happening. And Province says Dale. That's supposed to be a shark noise. I don't know if sharks make that noise. But then I guess no one really knows what noise a shark makes. Can you hear a dolphin underwater? Get on Google. Can you hear a dolphin underwater? Yes. So dolphins can be heard underwater. They're noisy fellows. Why don't sharks make noises like dolphins? That's a big question. We have the yes, says Cool Story. Definitely, says Rory. Yes, you can. They make clicking sounds, at least I think so. I watch Jaws and you will know, Hamish. It goes, eek, says Capetonian. And they squeak, says Jason. Now, scrum feed. You have made those changes due to the injuries. We're making lots of sauerkraut now. Then I remember there's a game now. And I think sharks can growl. Sharks make chomping noises. Yeah, I guess you hear them go, oh yeah, but other than that, I don't know. I feel like I'd prefer if a shark made more noise so I know when it's coming. Whales kind of go, don't they? But penalty to the Sharks. 38 metres out. This is a chance to add 3 or add pressure and go for the corner. They're calling for the posts. This would give them a 7-point lead. Sharks don't make a noise, otherwise their prey will hear them, says Kelly. But surely, they don't have to make a noise all the time. Just sometimes, just so that you know they're there. I watched Jaws the other day. What a great waste of an hour or two, says DJ. Etzebeth is training with the Sharks team because they can't find a surfboard long enough for him to go surfing. Says YZ, and different groups of dolphins around the world have different languages, says Bruce. Who knew everyone was so knowledgeable about dolphins? Because sharks give you kisses instead. Don't you know anything? Says Cool Story. Sharks make a crunching noise when they bite. Now Jordan Hendrickson to give the Sharks side a 7-point lead. And he's got it over 7 points now. Look at that, dun. And the theme of Jaws. 31-24. My scoreline is no longer possible, unfortunately. I did go 35-32 in this game. 31-31 is still well and truly an option. The Stormers side need to find themselves some position throughout this final 11 minutes. Now taken nicely by Apalelefasi. It's very well under that high ball at the back for his side. I will mention anyone who is new. We don't often talk about Sea Life, but be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Only Dolphins that make their noise are the ones you're watching now. And also, could be a draw, says Mohadeen. It certainly could be. Sharks have won, says Susan. I don't think I'll call it a win yet. Another penalty in their favour could be considered as pretty close to a victory. But until they get that one more, I just wouldn't trust it. This ref is a deuce. She'll be wearing a Sharks jersey, says John. Sharks make it sound like me eating Sovlakia. And Dolphins are nasty. They're one of the few animals on the planet capable of cruelty and recreational drugs. Are they? A disappointing score again, says Bruce. Although, once again, game not over. 10 minutes remaining. The Sharks, they have got themselves that 7-point lead, but the Stormers have got themselves the line out now, sitting 45 metres out from the Sharks line. Wake up the Stormers, says Anton. Final 10 minutes away. And may the best team win, says Andrew. Stormers need a strong southeaster to get things back into their favour. Now, Stephen Nkura. Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu. Again, sends this ball up high. Apalelefasi takes it under the high ball again. He's been saving the Shark side well and truly in this matchup. I think it's too late for Western Province, says Xander. Come on, the Sharks, says Kahu. This makes the top 8 very interesting. The Sharks, with a bonus point, will get themselves, I believe, ahead of the Lions based off points differential. Now, both men going up for a head. Well, Finamurva doesn't quite get their hand to it, though, in the Stormers with Leleon Zas, who has been pretty non-existent throughout this match. Sasha going for another kick and behind, just giving position. Back to the Sharks. Yako Williams going for the kick and behind. That one's going to keep on rolling, but it goes into the in-goal area of the Stormers team. Oh! Tell you what a Calant was taking that far too casually, and Yako Williams may have just scored the try for the Sharks team. Right, what a Calant thinks it's a goal line dropout. The question is this just wishful thinking, or is this actually because he got it down? Oh, dear, says side, this would be the nail in the coffin for the Stormers side if he does not get that grounding. And does the Stormers have a bonus point? They do not. Right, we're going to see the replay now. Oh, just about down from Calant. Just. Does he ground it? Right. Does get that grounding, but boy was it close to Yako Williams. They've given it as a try. They've said there's no downwards pressure from Calant. That second angle, I thought, showed downwards pressure. At the end of the day, it's a stupid mistake from Calant to even let it get that close. But, tell you what, that is a controversial way to head into the last 10 minutes of this contest. The question is, can the Stormers get the late try and get a draw? Now they need 2 because that error at the back from Calant. Go referee, says Cully Stain. That's a big call. A very big call. But Jordan Hendrickson lines up the post. He misses away to the side. 36 points to 24. He was intending to pick it up. That was his mistake. Says so. And it'll be on the naughty step, and Williams should be a man of the match with that try, says Andrew. Yeah, it's a massive moment for the Sharks side. Oh, an ugly landing for Apalele Fasi. Ball goes backwards, though. It's been a while, says Kerr. Welcome in. You are doing extremely well. Of course, do let me know. First off, you always know my first question of whereabouts you are in the world at the moment. And also, I mean, URC-wise, you'll be very happy with where your side sit. A non-stop travel, I'm afraid, says Kerr. I think last year you ended up down this way about this time of year, didn't you, Kerr? What the hell was he doing, says Quandele? I think he was trying to bait Yako Williams in a little bit and then tried to force that ball down, but he just took too long. What a Gallant. And I think it was a controversial one. You could have said that he got some sort of downwards pressure. And Tampa just now flying to Miami today. Yeah, so you're not really getting much of a rest, are you? Oh, here we go. Chance here for the Stormers with Dylan Murt. He runs down the wing. 6 minutes remaining. Was the try legit or was the ref glad the Sharks winning? I would have said there was enough pressure coming down from Watakalanta still as unlucky. Oh, cross kick attempted there from the Stormers. It will Funamurva kicking it in behind. Now running towards the sideline for Leleon Zas. Lorenzo Julius gets across and tries to take him down. There's a reason that Galant isn't in the box, so that's just lazy. I'm watching Ospreys versus Dragons tonight, says DJ. Yeah, still plenty of games still taking place. That's a massive crunching tackle, but the penalty goes the way of the Stormers. Now 6 minutes left on the clock here. In your prediction, you said 35-32. Now it's 35-24. Yeah, if there's one more try for the Stormers, it'd be 36-31, which would be pretty close to 35-32. Ollie Glasgow could be top for some time, says Kahu. Bizarre decisions by stick leg referee. Clearly not a try. He's on the payroll roll of the Hollywood Bets. And that's it, Shark boys. You deserve it. About time. And Zimbabwe says, going free, going well. I just need a break from work. I'm Miami today, then flying to Singapore for 3 days, then back over to Texas for a week for the Bahamas. So much travel. But yeah, hopefully you get a bit of a chance to rest and recover throughout that time. Oh, another penalty. It's going in favour of this Stormers side yet again. I haven't left Durban in 7 years. See, it's a cool story. It's a little while. Where'd you go 7 years ago, though? Cool story. JP Peterson has done brilliantly with the Sharks. Says cited. Now Sasha kicks it into the corner. Oh. Has he kicked that one dead, Sasha? Or is it going to be a line out? I think that one kicked dead by Sasha. All we need is a skip scop, a drop goal to seal the deal. Says Kotenda. If the Stormers score, they can still get a bonus point. Durban born and raised now in the UK. Happy to see the coaches are getting good results. That shows progress. Says so. Yeah, there's been quite the turnaround for the Bulls and the Sharks in just the most recent few weeks. Man of the match at the moment, looks like Andre Esterhuizen is going to be the man that does get that award. And let's go the Sharks. We are warriors. Says Kahu. And that just defines Sasha's day. Says Quandele. Can they still win? I'd say with the fact that Sasha mistouched there, probably not. They can get within 7 though. As a little bit of a bonus, but like 4.5 minutes left. They did score within 23 seconds of the game starting though. And Ray should have got man of the match last weekend, says Brendan. Yeah, he wasn't even nominated for man of the match last week, was he? We were kind of saying that throughout the stream that he should have definitely been a contender and probably should have won it. Sharks took their game to another level, says Andrew. Andre needs man of the match for last weekend's game also, says Cully Stain. And that is a penalty, though, to the Stormers. Oh, a little bit of push and shove there from Nkura. Going to get fired up against Pepsi Buthelezi. And Pretoria, then Miami, then Durban. Pretoria, then Miami, then Durban. Okay, so you went America, then back. He stays in his top 5 best in the world. People are catching on. I don't want to jinx it. But remember my bet before the season started for Glasgow. Oh, yeah. I tell you what, they're sitting pretty decent at the moment. I was surprised that they were 25-1 to start with, to be honest. And you probably were as well, knowing the capabilities of this Glasgow side. If they have home field advantage the whole way through, though, they will be very hard to beat. Oh, another penalty. This time awarded to the Stormers. There is now 3 minutes remaining on the clock. JP Peterson doing a good job. Major power outage in Pretoria. That's why you get more visitors today on the stream. So here's Albert. And no dominance in any of the scrums. Haven't seen this happen before for the South African teams. Yeah, it's been very back and forth in the scrums, but I actually still stick by the decision of if you don't have the scrum feed, you've got more chance of winning the scrum. Outrageous odds for a side like Glasgow. That's why I put on 5K. So they have to win the whole thing, right? It's not get to a certain stage. They have to be outright winners. Why are the Sharks playing so much better with the new coach? I guess they've found their rhythm. I guess they've started to work out how JP Peterson plays. So weird. When ad comes on, you are still on top of the screen. See, here's Susan. And how many meters out? Still 5 meters out from the line. Will you do the Leinster game? Sadly not, but I will probably end up watching a replay of that one when I wake up. And back-to-back losses to our fellow Coastal Province, not Leaker. Why didn't Plumtree re-sign last season? Look at the difference now. And yeah, outright winner, says Kerr. I think you'll be all right. I think I would be utterly shocked if they don't at least make semis. And probably, to be fair, if it's home field advantage, they should make final. As long as no major injuries happen throughout the Six Nations. That's one part of it that could impact Glasgow. So if they lose someone like Sione Tuipulotu or Ferguson during that Six Nations campaign. Now thrown over the back. It's going to be knocked on by Sasha. But first, I think it was knocked on by the Sharks. Yep, so the Stormers have got themselves another scrum here. Just the 2 minutes now remaining. I did win my bet on Glasgow top in the table for the Champions Cup. That was a nice 20. That probably pays for the holiday coming up, does it? Now let's go Province, says Dale. And time left currently just the 3 minutes left on the clock when the Super Rugby starting. Not this weekend coming up, but the weekend after. I just want to know why is it when the South African teams play against each other, they play very well. When they play a team against other teams, they don't play so good. Why is that? I think it's just that physicality match and that aggression up against fellow South African sides. Like everyone wants to prove that they're the best team in South Africa. So when you're up against a fellow Bok, you're going to be putting in those big hits and you're going to be trying your absolute best to make a statement. I think the Stormers got going today. Yeah, and that's kind of what we said last week as well for the Stormers team. But they have got the scrum going off to the left-hand side. If they score now, they can actually still come back and win this game with the time remaining. Currently 2 meters out from the line. Stephen Nkura going to Marcel Tennyson. He looks like he's down over the line. I think they're going to have to check that one. Oh, they've called it as held up. I don't think the Stormers got it today. And finally, Durban winning Cape Town in something. And good derby for South African rugby today, says Kelly Stain. Yeah, the closer of the two. The Bulls having a great win over the Lions, but in this case, the great win's going to the Sharks. It's just the 40 minutes remaining. 40 seconds remaining. 40 minutes would be a whole different story. I'm going to see it now. Jaden Hendricks, there was a part of the ball that maybe got on the ground there. They didn't even have a second look at it for the Stormers. Let's go the Warriors. So here's Kahu. Hamish, go to Joburg and winter by yourself at 2 in the morning. You won't need any money once you're there. Just a thick t-shirt and a smile, you'll be fine. Says, cool story. Now, one last chance for JJ Kotsia. If they score now for the Stormers and they convert, in fact, even if they don't convert, they do get themselves the bonus point. There's a knock-on advantage against the Sharks. The full-time siren just now sounding. Back across to the right, looping around play from Sasha. He has got the man on the outside, and Dylan Mart decides against using him. Does get driven almost into touch. Keeps the ball alive, though. Picked up by Marcel Tennyson. That just sums up the Stormers' day, says Andrew. There's another knock-on there. Almost a knock-on from the Stormers as well. Yes, there is. And that is the end of this game. 2 weeks in a row, the Sharks have beaten the Stormers, who were undefeated up until these two head-to-heads, but it's a massive win. It extends the lead on the table for Glasgow. And the Sharks, they move towards the top 8, yeah, says Kerr there, and thanks for the games today, H, says DJ. And we have still got a few more coming up tomorrow or today, depending on where you are in the world. The next match that we are going to be covering will be the semi-finals of the Sevens. Fiji versus New Zealand. That one's kicking off at 7:50 or so p.m. New Zealand time. That is 8:50 a.m. for you guys in South Africa. And then at 9:14 a.m. South African time, France versus South Africa. Massive 2 games of the Sevens. We will also be covering the final on the channel too, and maybe a couple of the other playoff matches along the way. Sorry, Stormers. I just not had a good game. What's the latest scores elsewhere, says Kerr. So the game has also just concluded between Connacht. Oh no, in fact, the game's still going. Connacht, they're 89 minutes in for their game. Connacht are chasing the bonus point at this point in time. And they are currently 5 meters away from the try line. So if they go over now, they get themselves the bonus point win. Well done, the Sharks, and thank you for your commentating. Says Clifton, no worries at all. We got plenty more coming up. Right, that looks close to a try there for Connacht. Yes, they do score. So they get the bonus point win over Zebre. We did see the win yesterday for Glasgow over Munster, as you'll know. And then also there was a draw between Benetton and Scarlets. Those are the other results that we've seen. And thanks for the long hours, Amish. Thank you, says Joe. Yeah, I think we're up to about 8.5 or so hours of streaming today. Yeah, we've been keeping going. And we got more around the corner. La Rochelle, we're getting beaten badly by Lyon. I'll have a quick look at the top 14. That's one competition that always sneaks under my radar in terms of results. Oh, La Rochelle, they're only down by 14 now. So they could maybe bring it back. Racing and Perpignan are close. And then Bordeaux are winning away from home. Interesting. And Stormers need a new captain. Yasashi hasn't got a great captaincy winning record, has he, unfortunately? Well, that's all. Well done, Sharks, and thank you for your commentating, says Clifton. No worries at all. And have fun with the tennis, UFC, WWE, golf, etc. Everyone says big rig. And top 14 has some interesting scores underway, says Kerr there too. And unexpected result for me, I had the Stormers to win, says George. I think a lot of people did. Heading into it, it was 31-0. Oh. So they've gone and scored 3 tries in the second half in the first 15 minutes. La Rochelle. That may be one to keep an eye on because they are also at home for that game. And good game. The Sharks got my dollars on Dan Hooker to TKO in the UFC this morning. And also we got their Stormers. Please don't blame the ref again, says Andrew. To be fair, there was a bit of controversy near the end of that game, wasn't it? But I don't think it was the difference maker. Thanks, Amish. See you for the Sevens tomorrow. Says Cape Tonian. So yeah, be sure to enjoy all the sport that has taken place around the world throughout the next kind of 24 hours or so. We will be back in, got to do the maths, about 14 hours time on the channel. So be sure to tune in for that. I will schedule those streams in the very near future. Thank you all very much for being here. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one.